It's a tree. Should I put it on the stool?
You have it turned so you can't see the fun. You have the back.
That would insinuate that I put it down in a certain way that I meant to.
Right?
Which I didn't.
There.
I just made sure I didn't break it while I was carrying it.
There, that's better.
Pieces.
Ta-da! I don't know that you can tell it's a Christmas tree. But, anyways, okay. I'm gonna make it bigger.
Happiest of holidays to everybody.
Hello, peoples.
Merry of Christmas. Flyers, I have them first in their division. I don't know if that's where they end up, but that's where I have them. I'm going to put this Tampa back over here.
People saying happy holidays.
Happiest of holidays to everybody.
Do the Canucks make the playoffs?
I have them fourth. So I have them in the playoffs, but it's going to be close.
I'm gaining up on you. I'm up to 60 jerseys. It's a lot more jerseys than I have.
This is true.
So that's a lot of jerseys.
This is true.
Shannon just has a stupid amount, so.
Yeah. Hey, I only ordered one today.
Today, I hear the door. Just a moment.
That's probably package delivery just on Christmas Eve. But no, I pulled the trigger on a Toronto Marlies jersey that Jersey Barons had. They're down to their last one, and Marlies jerseys, it's an older one too, so I thought, yeah, I'll get Marlies. Sounds like a religious person. People who drop off packages don't normally laugh and joke around with people when they drop them off. She might be a while. Do I have a retro that doesn't have a matching hat? Technically, the Minnesota Wild doesn't because there's a Minnesota North Stars hat, but because technically the Wild and the North Stars are the same. Nothing matches that Ducks jersey. The Wild Wing, technically, nothing really matches it because it should be a Wild Wing hat, and I don't have one of those yet. I haven't seen it either, so if I get a Wild Wing hat, that'd be great. Do I have a Coyotes? I have a Coyotes coming that's kind of similar. I found one on 47's website for a decent price. I'm just messing around with the power rankings board. Zibanejad reverse retro from Quill Hockey. Very nice. I know mail's been really slow. Like I got 2 ugly Christmas sweaters for Yvonne. I ordered them 3 weeks ago from Blue Notes, and they didn't make it.
It's Sugar from the neighbor.
The Rangers jerseys. I don't know that anybody's carrying reverse retro Rangers that I've seen right now. Those ones are really hard to find.
Lots of sugar.
Well, you can give that to bag it up for the kids for Christmas.
Squish over.
I need a new bag for this. I'm taking the numbers off the power rankings board because I'm planning on doing the power rankings completely different this year.
Oh, okay.
So.
What do you mean? How are you going to do them? Is it a
by
secret?
Division. By division, and then I'm thinking about doing it by.
Oh, right, because that'd be tricky because they never play other divisions.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
That's true. I didn't.
And then
think
because
about that.
teams are playing in series, like they might play each other 4 times in a row, I might start grading games by how entertaining they are, and go by power rankings, the most entertaining feuds in hockey right now.
It'll be different, won't it?
Yeah, it's going to be.
All right.
Different.
Still think the best looking reverse games would be a good video. Oh yeah, it would. Coyotes versus Ducks, for example.
Yeah, I'll have something like that. The only 2 now that I'm missing are Buffalo and New Jersey, so I can do something like that. The rest of them I have. I need somewhere to put these where I'm not going to
I subscribed to this account when it was below 5,000 subscribers.
She subscribed when it was below 1,000. But I understand that it was kind of a rough time, though. She was romantically involved with the guy running the channel. And then I took over, and then it's just, he's a little weird.
Mail is slow. It usually takes 3 to 4 days. It's taking 10 to 15 at least. Yeah, 2 weeks is being
it's coming out of Mississauga, generous. And now it feels like Mississauga might have decluttered, but now Richmond. I've got a couple things that have been stuck in Richmond for days. So yeah, it's pretty bad.
Should Tampa trade Killorn or Johnson?
They wanted to trade Johnson. I know they had a few teams that were looking at Johnson. The problem was his cap hit, that contract. Teams didn't want to take that on. I think Killorn's a more attractive option, and I think he's probably going to be the one that gets traded.
Whereabouts near Ottawa area are you familiar with?
Familiar with would be an interesting term because I was there when I was a newborn. By the time I was learning how to walk, we were in Gander. So, I mean, my mother's from Carton Place, so I know about like Smith Falls and Iron Prior, or anyways, in that area. And then when I was born, my dad was stationed in Petawawa, but there wasn't actually a hospital in Petawawa, so they had to leave town when my mother was in labor for her to give birth because it was just a military hospital.
Do you think the Wild will struggle due to time zones?
No, because of the back-to-backs, because you're flying into California, you'll play back-to-backs, and you'll probably play all 3 teams in a row. The time zones shouldn't be as jarring due to the fact that you do play more than 1 game apiece. And then for them, they do still have Colorado. They do still have St. Louis. I mean, it's not a great situation, but it shouldn't be too bad. The Canadian division could be really rough for time zones.
Are you going to get a name on the Avs jersey?
Nope. In general, I don't get names put on jerseys.
We get that comment a lot, or why he gets so many of the blank ones. And just think about how much it would cost if all of those reverse retros had the names and numbers on them. It would add so much more money.
Not doing it.
Lots and lots and lots. So generally when he has a name on it, it's somebody who's been traded, so it's cheaper.
Or it's somebody I have
right.
Fond
there
memories
are
of
some that it's somebody that he really likes, but that's kind of the rarer occasion.
Yeah. All right. Well, I cleaned that up.
It's currently Christmas morning in the UK. Happy holidays to you both.
Happy Merry Christmas and holly jolly happiness and all that stuff. There's Christmas lights on the TV. I found this Japanese garden thing.
Ottawa, are your parents politicians? You know, there's more people that live in Ottawa.
My dad was in the military and was stationed in Petawawa. So my mother was born in Carton Place.
Are you noticing a trend of where packages get held up?
Mississauga. It was Mississauga. Now it seems like it's Richmond.
Yeah, right.
So,
which is
it's the big,
where all
the
of the
places.
parcels go for BC.
Big holding
everything.
Facilities.
They'll go past us. They have to.
That's where it
go
goes
through
from
Abbotsford to get to Richmond, and then they'll come back to us.
Yeah, that's where it goes from customs too.
Yes.
So everything.
If it's coming from the south.
So when they weren't delivering anything coming in from the U.S., there was stuff stuck in Richmond for me for weeks.
Forever.
Yeah.
How much aggressive hockey do you think we'll see this season with the new back-to-back scheduling versus previous seasons?
Oh, there's going to be fights.
There might be. I'm envisioning
are not going to like each
similar
other.
To like playoff hockey, where something happens in a game and they get kind of a grudge.
And it's going to be 4 in a row.
See it continuing.
Just imagine for one team that they're fighting for a playoff spot and they've lost to a team 3 times in a row and they got them playing that 4th time. That game could be absolutely brutal.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking will happen. The Holiday, over or underrated Christmas movie?
It was okay. It was all right.
There's a lot of Christmas movies I like better. But there's a really cute sweater. And that's
for me,
the important part.
I have a soft spot for Kate Winslet.
And I found the pattern for said sweater.
I'm not a Jack Black fan, though.
Okay.
So that's where it gets kind of weird.
Where did I put my yarn?
All right. No, you had a bag of it.
I said, because I went to answer the door. Hold on. I know where it is.
She's a bag lady. She's got to get her bag.
I hung it on the door. I set it down to answer the door.
What you want the Sabres to do to succeed in this tougher division? Well, really, because of the way the divisions are shaping up, I would say that we're going to see some surprises. Buffalo could be a surprise. The question mark I have with Buffalo is, will Ullmark or Hutton be good enough? Will they have to turn to somebody else? I think with the way the schedule is set up, 56 games in 115 days, teams that stay healthy, just avoiding injury could be a big, huge difference.
Polar Express and Home Alone are my favorite. I'm old-fashioned, but both are fun. I don't like either one.
I'm not a big fan.
Those are not...
I was never a Home Alone fan.
Either of those are not Christmas movies.
No. I think Macaulay Culkin's a lot better now as an adult than I liked him as a kid. As an adult, he's funny as hell.
Merry Christmas to you both. Shane, who's your dark horse contender to win the cup next year? Who's Shane? Not sure who that question's directed to.
I'm looking.
Somebody named Shane.
I don't see
so
anybody.
if you find him, you can ask him. But Shannon,
if I was looking for a dark horse contender, Philly, Carolina would be two that I would throw out there as potentials. Again, with the way that the schedule shapes up, it really is going to be interesting because when you get into the semifinals, whoever wins those divisions, you're going to have 4 teams that haven't seen each other all year. So that could be fascinating.
The Jim Carrey Grinch is just weird to look at now.
It was weird then. It is a bizarre movie. I'm not a fan of it.
I like it.
I didn't think it needed to be an hour and a half long movie.
I like it.
I think the cartoon is absolutely perfect.
I do like the cartoon.
And
I don't like the new one that came out last year. That one's awful. That one shouldn't be a thing.
Because again, it's theatrical length. You don't need a theatrical length Grinch.
I like it.
And I swore there were other Grinch shows too, and that's the only one that survived.
Great. Yes, this is our hockey Christmas tree.
Isn't there a Cat in the Hat gets Grinched? Isn't there a book where it's the Cat in the Hat gets Grinched?
I don't remember one.
And they cross over between the two.
I don't remember that at all.
I don't remember if they made a cartoon of it, but I'm pretty sure there was a book.
The
Grinch just wants to ruin the Cat in the Hat's day, which makes sense because Cat in the Hat's obnoxious.
I never liked the Cat in the Hat. I didn't like the book when I was younger. The movie was awful.
Oh, well, yeah. Of course it was.
Terrible.
It was a disturbing, really just disturbing movie. Hi.
Does a Canadian division benefit or hurt the Canucks this season?
I don't think it necessarily helps. Even with the back-to-backs, they're going to be playing a lot of games outside their time zone. And that means they're not playing against the California teams. They're not playing against Arizona. Those are 4 teams that I think they could have beaten. I think they're going to be in tough in the Canadian division. They don't play well against Winnipeg. Can be a lot of really brutal battles against the Alberta teams. I'm not sure the Canucks are physically strong enough to go through 56 games against Canadian teams. We'll find out.
Do you think new rivalries between teams will be established this season?
Absolutely. Yep. And some old ones are going to get rekindled. I'm looking at Boston and New Jersey as an example.
How much does it take to re-sign Matthew Barzal?
Barzal's price will likely come down a little bit. I don't think it'll end up being $10 million. You look at the $4.8 million that Cirelli signed for, I would say 7.5 for Barzal should get it done. Probably a bridge deal, though.
Any hot tips for the upcoming fantasy hockey season?
Fantasy hockey is going to be really rough this year because we have a squashed schedule. We have teams that aren't used to playing against each other. There's going to be some players that really excel in this. I would say that for players who are maybe more along the lines of agitators, players like, say, Matthew Tkachuk, he could have a really big year. And it could be tougher for, say, Pettersson for Vancouver if the physical grind wears them down a little bit more in these divisional battles every single night rather than your usual 82-game schedule. So we may see some of the more finesse players actually have a harder time getting those points.
Is the Canadian division playing in Canada or finding a hub in the States?
They're going to play in Canada. They have basically the approval to play in all 7 cities. It's just a matter of figuring out exactly how this is going to work. But the approval is, according to Darren Drager, the approval is in place.
Where did you get the reverse retro hat?
The hat I got through NHL Shop Canada.
Wishing you both a great 2021. You've definitely helped many hockey fans through 2020, and the accessibility and openness of this channel makes it one of the best across the board on YouTube. Happy Christmas.
Thank you.
How many jerseys do you own? Stupid amount.
I've guesstimated 600.
Holy crap! Seriously?
That's including all the duplicates.
Like all the ones we
That's
take
including
with us.
all the yes.
We have bins that we take to meetups too. So I wouldn't even guess 600, but maybe we do have like
I've got over
3 bins of
room.
jerseys that we take to meetups.
I've got over 400 in this room.
Dear Lord.
That's why we don't talk about it.
It's a stupid
we
amount.
legit don't talk about it.
I was right.
We legit don't talk about it.
Hey, Shannon, now that you have the Jets reverse retro, has your opinion changed on it?
Not really. I mean, I thought it was okay beforehand. I know Yvonne was harder on it than I was.
Yeah.
I still like it.
The logo's nice, but it's boring. It could have been so much nicer. Yeah, it could have been a lot prettier.
I like it. I like the chain stitching on it. I mean, yeah, you could have done a red one with the 90s style logo. Absolutely.
I think that would have been great.
But it's not that bad. That's about that's as complimentary as I get. It's not that bad. Yeah, I don't mind it.
Yeah. Will the Leafs do good this season?
Yep. I have the Leafs at the top of the Canadian division. I think they should be the best team in the Canadian division. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I think adding guys like Simmons, Joe Thornton, I think this is going to be a good year for them. I think they're a little bit underrated by some.
The Jets jersey is meh, right? Agreed.
It's meh. It's a little over meh. I wouldn't put it straight meh.
If the logo wasn't so pretty and done so nice, then it'd be really just,
then it'd be at the bottom. I'd have it at the bottom.
At least they have a very well done logo.
Yeah, it's not at the bottom.
But
and once I have the Buffalo and the New Jersey ones, I will be doing a countdown again, because I've been keeping track on my phone of where I have my favorites and least favorites of the reverse retros.
Because he has lists of everything.
So once I have the other two, then I'll be able to do a power rankings of the ones in person. He
gets a jersey, it goes on his list.
It's automatic.
That's what he does. Goes on a list.
I take a picture. It goes on the Google Drive. The picture then goes onto my Instagram, and then I put it on the list.
Will you do a video where you compare the old jerseys versus the new reverse retros?
Yes.
That would be fun.
Yes. I've been meaning to go through my collection too and do not. Yeah. I mean, I did the history of all the jerseys, but I want to do like the changes with the reverse retros, and then a look at just minor differences between some of the old jerseys that people may not be aware of, where they might have changed necklines, they changed shoulder logos, little things.
Thoughts on Daniil?
You're taken.
Okay. Being put on waivers by the Sharks.
They're buying him out. They're buying him out or terminating his contract. He had 1 year left on his contract. I guess he didn't have any desire to play, or they didn't have any desire to employ him for this season, and so they're freeing him from his contract.
Are Coca-Cola products better than Pepsi products?
Yes. My stomach doesn't like Pepsi products, so I'm kind of forced to drink Coke products instead. Because Wild Cherry Pepsi is the greatest. My stomach doesn't like it.
Favorite player growing up that had a mullet? They all had mullets.
Yeah, they all did.
It was the hockey haircut.
They did. I'm trying to think. Did Cliff Ronning have one?
I'm guessing yes, because everybody had a mullet.
I seem to remember Stan Smeel had a. Did Smeel have one? No. I'm pretty sure almost anybody out of Sweden in the 80s would have had one. Because you have the blonde hair, and then you could on the weekends, if you're not playing a hockey game, you could be fronting a metal band.
Yeah, there were so many.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to come back to that. I know when I look at hockey cards, there's some really great mullets on some of the old hockey cards I have.
Do I sell the Christmas bags? I don't sell anything. I give a lot away though.
You do.
I have to make so many each year because I give so many of them away. Yep. And then I don't have enough for us. No, I don't really sell anything. I don't.
People are mean.
I did years and years ago. I had an online store and I sold things that I sewed, or I spun yarn, and I crocheted things. I don't think I ever sold things I knit. But people online are horrible. So I stopped. It wasn't worth it, and it made it not fun. So it's a tricky thing. So now I really just make for people I know.
True that.
Does a great player not winning a cup lessen your opinion of him?
No. Like, for instance, Marcel Dion. Dion never won a cup, but he was never on a team that was good enough to win a cup either. So I always feel bad for players in that situation. Mike Gartner's one as well, that, he was with the Rangers, and then he gets traded, and as soon as he's traded by the Rangers, they win a Stanley Cup. It's too bad. There are players that I know other people will talk about, they never won a cup, but I don't view that as being a detriment to their legacy.
Percentage of Canadian versus American viewers.
It's about 50-50.
It kind of fluctuates.
Americans make up a little bit more than Canadians in the audience, but it's about 50-50. I would think with the Canadian division now, it should be 50-50 during the year, because Canadians will watch previews for Canadian teams. And with the all Canadian division, every day is hockey day in Canada. It should be a year where we see it about 50-50.
Favorite young player on the Flyers?
Konechny. I would go with Konechny as my favorite young player.
What team has the ugliest jersey of all time?
Islanders. That Islanders Mets jersey, the one with the word mark across the front.
They have some ugly jerseys.
With the orange and blue on the side, the black one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the nice Islanders word mark that if you look at it wrong, it looks like slander. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the slander. So yeah, that one I'd go with.
How many points do you think Alexis Lafreniere will get this season? And does the Rangers defense get better with Jacques Martin running the defense instead of Lindy Ruff?
Their defense is going to get better anyways. Lafreniere is going to be a superstar player right out of the gate. I expect him to probably win the Calder Trophy, and I would expect the defensive numbers to get better. I mean, if Lafreniere is really good at the offensive zone, a big part of the play, and the Leafs are believers of this, if you have possession of the puck, you don't have to worry so much on the defensive end. So possess the puck as much as possible. Lafreniere should be a huge puck possessor.
Shannon, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bitter about you recommending DeBrincat and Arvidsson for fantasy hockey last year.
And I would recommend them again this year because I think they're going to bounce back. I have certain players that I believe in, and that doesn't change because they had a down year.
How many goals will Karel Kaprizov score this year with Minnesota?
I think 20 is a good over-under with Kaprizov. I mean, 56 games, I'll say 20. If he gets the top 6 minutes, if he gets power play time, I would not be surprised to see him get 20.
Do you think Byfield is overrated?
No. Byfield, the one thing with Byfield, because he's still growing into his frame and he's still growing into the physical side of the game, I would not be surprised to see him get off to a slow start with the Kings and be one of those guys people are yelling and screaming online about how he's overrated, but he'll get there.
Are you watching and reviewing the World Juniors?
Yes. And they start tomorrow, so I'm not planning on necessarily watching every single game, but I'll be watching and reviewing games for the World Juniors.
Will there be a President Trophy winner?
Yep. As far as I know, none of the trophies change. They just change the divisions and they change how the playoffs work. None of the trophies will change.
Who is your favorite baseball player of all time?
Ooh, of all time. Hoffman with the San Diego Padres would be up there. He was fantastic. And every time he would come in, he'd come in to play and they would put on Hell's Bells every time he came in to close out a game. I'm a big pitching fan. And Jimmy Key would probably be my all-time favorite starter with the Toronto Blue Jays. Very underrated player in his career. Jimmy Key was fantastic.
What is your favorite Bruins jersey in their history, and why is it the Paddington Bear?
I don't think it would be the Paddington Bear. It would be...
I'm pretty sure I know which one it is. I'm guessing the yellow and brown.
This one. This one, because of the fuzzy bee on it.
I knew you really liked that
and
one.
It's got the brown shoulders.
I figured it was either this one or the yellow and brown with the bee that's different.
That's just, I like that. That's very nice. The reverse retro is nice, but this would be my favorite of the Bruins jerseys that I have. It's just, it's very well done. Very nice. Nice winter classic. Honorable mention to the bear jersey, the bear jersey with the fuzzy bear on it.
Oh, yes. Oh, I remember when
that's
you got
a nice
that
one too. And I've got an authentic in that one. That one's so nice.
What are your thoughts on Lundqvist overall?
Hey, King Henrik. It's a shame he didn't win a Stanley Cup with the New York Rangers. One of the best goaltenders of the last decade. He's probably done. I would think that through not playing this season, I'd be very surprised if he comes back next year. But he's a Hall of Famer.
Which team would you rather see in the Cup? I'm paraphrasing here. Besides the Canucks, Stars, or Bruins, who would you want to see in the Cup?
I think it'd be great if Ottawa got in there just for the absolute chaos that would create. I'd like to see, like, for 2021, a Stanley Cup final between, like, Arizona and Ottawa. That'd be, like, just great. Something absolutely insane, bonkers for 2021.
Do you ever watch college hockey?
We don't get that up here.
We don't see it.
We really there's no Canadian network that has it. So I don't really get to watch it. Right now, like if I was watching Sportsnet or TSN, they're both just airing NBA games right now.
Which first-time Cup winner would you like to see?
First-time Cup winner? It'd be nice to see the Jets get one. It'd be nice to see Minnesota get one because the North Stars moved to Dallas and then they won one in Dallas. And I mean, Vegas is really long-suffering. They're a long-suffering fan base, but I'll say Vancouver. I'll say Vancouver. They've been suffering, and I'd like to see a Vancouver Buffalo Stanley Cup final and just see if like Game 7 would go to 9 overtimes because neither team's allowed to win the Stanley Cup. So, but Vegas has been suffering a long time, so it's hard to not say Vegas.
Any favorite color commentator you enjoy listening to the most?
Oh, color commentator. Mickey Redmond out of Detroit is fantastic. I missed Denny Potvin out of Florida because he was not ambiguous about who he was cheering for. He basically straight out told you. And it's a shame that Jack Edwards is so off-putting in Boston because Andy Brickley is a really fun color guy. But Jack Edwards is he's the worst. So it's a shame because Andy Brickley, honestly, is a lot of fun.
Who's your favorite doctor?
12th.
Did you do a video on that? Like
12th
forever
doctor.
ago, years ago?
12th Doctor. Because Peter Capaldi is just cranky. And he has Clara around. She's his carer, so he doesn't have to. That's like my favorite line ever. She cares, so I don't have to.
Where to get the reverse retros?
I went through Ben H Sports, but he was just taking pre-orders. So basically I pre-ordered through the email address that's available in all of my videos. And I know there were other people who did pre-orders too. He's just been doing the pre-orders so far. He hasn't posted anything on eBay yet because he hasn't finished the pre-orders. And then other than that, I went through Cool Hockey as soon as they had them. I got 3 from there that I knew I wasn't able to get from Ben. And then I had to go through Team Stores for some of them too.
Yeah. It's kind of wherever you find them, but you have to be careful of fakes. Because there's going to be a bunch. Reverse retros.
There's going to be a bunch.
And some of them are really bad.
They're going to be
because they're not even accurate. No. Pro Hockey Life in Canada has reverse retros.
Pro Hockey Life, I saw that. The funny thing is that some of the teams, though, they listed, and then as soon as you click on it, it'll be out of stock. There are some teams that are just out of stock right away because they have the listing, but they don't actually have the product.
Brady Tkachuk breakout season, 50 points.
He's due. Brady Tkachuk is due. And as the Senators get better, his points total should get better as well.
Who is your favorite goalie right now?
Oh, it's hard to go against to be Miller in Anaheim. It's tough to go against Demko. Demko is just so fun to watch against Las Vegas. But I like Leonard as well. And of course, Tuukka in Boston would be one of my favorites.
Do you have your eyes on any rivalries with the new NHL format?
Rivalries to watch for, I would say Dallas and Tampa could be a bloodbath by the end of the year. Columbus and Dallas could be a really good one too, because they're going to be in the mix for the same spots, I think. And anybody against Toronto. I honestly think every Canadian team and every Canadian fan base will hate every other Canadian fan base by the end of the year. It could be rough because remember, there's only 7 Canadian teams, so they play each other more. So there could be a lot of hate across Canada by the end of the regular season.
I bought a Kings reverse retro, but it is a Fanatics. What are your thoughts? Should I take it back or should I just keep it? What even is Fanatic? Is it not legit?
So
they're legit. They are through the NHL. Have we ever done a video comparing the two? Because we have.
I think I did with Vegas.
With Vegas. Okay.
So the difference really is in the logo. So the logo on a Fanatics, it'll fold.
These are all embroidered. This is all appliqued. So this is a different piece of fabric. It's then on a yellow piece of fabric. But it's stiff. It's all embroidered. Whereas, shut it.
Sorry.
On a Fanatics, it's printed on here.
And tell on the inside too.
Yeah, they're made different. You can see on the shoulders. The fabrics. The fabric is quite different. The Adidas are just a lot higher quality.
And this is shiny, which it's not on the Fanatics as well. But I will say this: there are people who like the Fanatics jerseys. They're fine. These are hard to find. Fanatics. These are hard to find now. The Kings ones, they were hard to get a hold of. And this one I got through Ben, which is good because it's sold out on a lot of different sites where the reverse retros were. If you're happy with it, keep it. I honestly, if you're happy with it, keep it. There's like a $40 difference usually between the Fanatics because they're normally $159.
Which to me isn't a big enough difference for how they're made. But for the reverse retros, if you have a Fanatics, keep it just because it'd probably be hard to find the Adidas.
Yep.
That's my opinion on that. But to me, normally the price difference between the Fanatics and the Adidas, it's not enough to justify the difference in quality. They make a lot more off of the Fanatics.
Yeah, they do.
Which Christmas movies are staples for your household during this time of year?
Christmas Vacation.
A lot.
Christmas Carol.
We have watched.
So we'll watch Christmas Carol tonight because I have to watch that every Christmas Eve.
Old one.
The Alistair Sim one from 1950.
So I watch a ton of Christmas movies.
That's it for me. I know she watches a bunch.
I watch a lot. Me and the kids watch a ton. So we start in November, so you can watch them all. This year, I think we've watched way more than ever.
I've watched 15 myself, and that's just what we can remember. I'm pretty sure there are other ones we've watched that I don't remember.
They just all blend together.
And on the Entertainment Guy, we reviewed Santa Girl, and that took 33 minutes today. That was an insanely long review.
Weird movie.
Santa Girl. I knew I should have taken notes.
So today we watched A Christmas Story and Arthur Christmas. Well, I didn't really watch them, but the kids did. We always
memorized Arthur Christmas.
That movie is great. If you haven't seen Arthur Christmas, you need to watch it. It is so funny. I love that movie.
It's about Dudley Moore getting drunk at Christmas.
It is so funny. That movie is great. I like both of the Prep and Landing. I watched the stop motion animation movies. I'm not a fan of Rudolph. I really like The Year Without a Santa Claus. And
you're the only person I've met that doesn't like the Rudolph the same as I don't. I was never a fan of Rudolph, even when I was a kid.
It's weird, and
I would watch Rudolph just because it was
the
Christmas.
Reindeer are jerks. Oh yeah, we watched it. Yeah, you didn't have choice. We always watched.
Oh, that's on CBC.
Brown.
Other than that, well, that's it.
I like the live action and the original cartoon Grinch. The new Grinch is terrible. I like Muppet Christmas Carol is fantastic, and then I also watched the Christmas Carol with. Oh my gosh. Spacing on the name.
Clark Kent?
No. See, he knows exactly
Dean
who
Cain?
I'm talking about. No, he knows who I'm talking about. Yes, Heatmiser. That's The Year Without a Santa Claus.
William Shatner.
No. See, you know who I'm talking about. You're such a brat.
Leonard Nimoy.
Oh, Scrooge. We watched Scrooge yesterday. It's a Wonderful
That's the one
Life.
with Dan Aykroyd.
Yes, we watched that. Patrick Stewart. See, you guys know he's a brat. Yes, that's one that I
Bill
really
Shatner.
like. I watched that a few days ago. Trying to think. Fiddler on the Roof is Christmas. I love that movie though.
Sure it is. There's fiddles. There's fiddles in Christmas.
Definitely not.
Christmas is all about fiddling. You fiddle with
There's-
your presents. You fiddle with your fiddle.
It's not.
It's a lot of fiddling going on for
You're
Christmas.
such a brat.
Thank you. And then there's Rubes.
Thoughts on Home Alone? Oh my gosh,
Santa.
our boys love Home Alone.
I can't stand Home Alone.
They love it.
I don't like slapstick
I don't mind
comedy.
the first one too much. After that, they're horrible and they get progressively worse.
I don't like slapstick. I've never liked slapstick comedy.
Our kids love.
When everybody else in my class would be laughing at like a Three Stooges thing, even as a kid, I'd just be sitting there stone faced, like, when does the funny stuff happen?
It's a Wonderful Life. I love that one. I made the boys watch that the other day.
Zuzu Pedals.
I also
Zuzu
like
Pedals.
The Bishop's Wife.
Uh-huh.
I'm iffy on A White Christmas. I watched it anyways, but you know. Do you like Canada's legend Bryan Adams? Does everybody like
Everybody
Bryan Adams?
had to like Bryan Adams in the 80s. It was kind of a requirement to get into the country and to stay in the country. You had there was a pledge to Bryan Adams.
I certainly liked him. I think everybody did though.
Yeah.
Oh, Christmas with the Cranks. That's another one I like that Shannon doesn't.
No, that's bad.
I like it.
No, you don't. You just think you do. It's one of those movies that if you really thought about it,
Muppet Christmas Carol's fantastic. I know that whole, I know that one word for word.
That's the one with Patrick Stewart in it.
No, it's not. He's such a brat. Do you guys see what I have to deal with?
Was that the one with Bill Shatner?
Every day.
Is Leonard Nimoy in that one?
No.
Uhura is in that one. Chris Pine. Chris Evans?
He's such a brat. Oh my gosh.
Pine Evans. Crispin Glover.
Oh, and Nightmare Before Christmas, of course.
Crispin Glover needs to be
the
Scrooge
Santa Claus.
or something.
Yes, I really like those. I like all three of them.
Why don't we get Crispin Glover as Scrooge?
We watch all three of them. The second one's my least favorite, but you have to watch the second one to watch.
I got to watch Hot Tub Time Machine because of Crispin Glover. He's the one-armed guy in that movie. You enjoyed that movie, didn't you?
Oh, that one wasn't too bad. It's not what I thought it would be based on the title of the movie.
Right.
I watched Christmas with the Cranks 3 times this month. It's a fun movie.
It's not.
It is.
People think it is, but it's not. They're just wrong.
Any one of your children want to play hockey as a hobby?
Not as a hobby.
When it's not pandemic, they all three do play hockey.
I've been very jealous. Darren Drager's been reposting everybody's outdoor rink. And there's a whole bunch of outdoor rinks in Canada, and it's like I'm so jealous. As a kid, there's no such thing as an outdoor rink in my area, so they don't exist. So either you go to the skating rink to skate or you don't skate. That's it. There's no two ways about it.
Oh, Ernest Saved Christmas. I tried to get the boys to watch that one today because I have it. But
just slapstick.
Oh, you know what's better? Pee-wee's Playhouse Christmas. That one's funny.
No.
Shannon just thinks it's stupid.
I like Paul Rubens. I'm not a huge fan of Pee-wee's Playhouse. No. Just no.
It's fine. I like that one. Solani or Tikkanen to have a dinner with. Happy holidays to you both. Thanks for the year-round quality content. Let's go Caps and Oilers.
As much fun as it would be not to understand what Tikkanen was saying, I would probably pick Solani. There'd be a lot of really good stories with Solani. Not that there wouldn't be great stories with Tikkanen. I just wouldn't understand a damn word he said. There'd be a lot of what? What did he say? What?
Do you think the Blues will sign Hoffman, #1 channel on YouTube? Love the content. Been watching since 2017.
Thank you. If Hoffman wants to win, St. Louis would be a good place to go. The one thing with Hoffman, the word had it that he wasn't willing to lower his asking price, and St. Louis will see whether or not they'd be willing to meet that price and if they'd have to move other salary out to sign him. Hoffman is the best player still available, and hopefully he gets signed. But with the way it was being framed, it sounds like he might be one of those guys who's comfortable not to play this year if he can't get the price he wants.
I probably missed it, but do you like Love Actually?
I couldn't get into it.
Not really.
Couldn't get into it.
I've watched it more than once.
She's a big fan of the rom-com.
It's not really my thing. No.
She's a huge fan of those movies. She quotes
really,
Dirty Dancing.
No. See, and he's saying this because I'm really not that type of movie person.
She loves everything John Hughes. She quotes it. She's a big fan. And Beverly Hills 90210. Don't get her started talking about that because she
never watched it.
She's just being
I've never watched
humble.
it.
It's just humility.
I've never watched one complete episode ever.
You were arguing with me about who was hotter between Brandon and Luke Perry. You're like, is Brandon hotter or Dylan? And then you had this whole chart out there, and you were just, I'm
not the ones that makes charts and lists of everything. That's
not on camera, but you do.
I don't put anything. No, only kind of list I make is a grocery list, and I usually don't even.
You have a whole who's hotter list on your phone.
That's definitely not a thing.
Sure you do.
Oh my goodness, Shannon. Okay. Can we see your favorite jersey ever? Give him a second here. I'm definitely not a chart maker. Tier list of 90s heartthrobs. I'm not one of those girls. No. It's not my kind of thing. Is that one pretty?
That was quick because I know exactly where it was. That's fine.
Can Tort stand to coach Mike Hoffman?
Yep. I don't think Hoffman's been a problem in locker rooms. Because if he was, I wouldn't think that he would have got along with Quenneville. I think something would have come out. Hoffman just had personal differences in Ottawa that got ugly and got public. I haven't heard anything outside of that, though. So, yeah, it shouldn't be a problem if he goes to Columbus.
Some people knew it was the Kings.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's obvious. Although
preferred the purple third jersey more. I do like the purple one.
Although
he really likes that jersey.
This might be my lock screen on my phone.
Do you have the red skate Canucks jersey?
You might be able to see it from where you are, Yvonne.
Oh, probably.
Because that's all Canucks right there.
He has lots and lots of Canucks.
And I do, yes. I have the red skate jersey.
Oh, isn't that it? Yeah. Isn't that it right there? Is it? No?
No.
Oh.
It's more towards that side.
Oh.
Do you find it?
Yeah. I can't reach it. There's a boy right here. Shannon!
I'm helping you. That's not it.
Nope, that's not it.
Here, I'll help.
That's not helping.
It's helping something.
Nope.
Here, look out. I'll go in.
Inappropriate.
Oh, it's very appropriate.
The cat looks super relaxed. You talking about Bear? She always lays on her head. Did Shannon receive the jerseys he bought for $5 yet?
No, they're in the States.
I just want to hear the story again.
There's the red Canucks. And the other one that had red on it that they based the reverse retro on. But yeah,
it's still going to be a while till we get any jerseys that are in the States.
Yeah, I'm thinking April at the earliest.
We might need to rent a truck to get our mail.
We might need to have people help us.
A year worth of mail.
So if you're interested in running some jerseys across the border, let us know. Might need to call Han Solo and get the Millennium Falcon to fly him over.
Oh my gosh. Okay. It's gonna take us a little while. Once the border eventually opens, which we still got a while.
Yep.
Yeah. Shannon, do your best Jeremy Jacobs impersonation as he mulls the Bruins board recommendations of Christmas bonus for the Bruins.
He just crumple that up and throw it out. What the hell, they're going to get a bonus for? They haven't worked since March. Hasn't been a single damn date since March in that building. He's not signing Christmas bonuses. Their bonus is keeping their job. The nice thing with Jeremy Jacobs, though, is that tonight he will be visited by 3 spirits, and I would expect his mood to be better tomorrow. I would expect he will be visited by 3 spirits. Who would be the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future? Okay, so Phil Esposito would be the ghost of Christmas past. They don't have to be dead for this either, because I'm not morbid. Ghost of Christmas present would be probably PJ Stock. PJ Stock should be the ghost of Christmas present, and then the ghost of Christmas future, Marshawn. Marshawn would be the ghost of Christmas future, showing him, just kicking him straight into a grave, and then giving him a lick on the way out. And he'd be like, "I'll change. Stop licking me. I'll change." And then he gets up and he's better because he realizes he hasn't actually been licked, and he's okay because it's a pandemic and licking people is bad. So.
Is it true you can see the yellow Flying V jersey from space? Yes.
Yeah.
Can confirm.
Yeah, it's a great jersey. It is fantastic.
You can see it from a very, very far away. So in
other side of the building,
yes,
you can see it.
I have been able to spot him on the other side of an arena.
Yeah, that's great.
So, LOL, Shannon, tell us the story about how you bought jerseys for $5. Everyone, sit around.
Is that the Christmas Eve story for tonight?
How I got jerseys for $5.
We still don't know what the state of those are either. That's the great part. We don't know what they're like.
Nope.
And so they might be garbage for all I know. They might be in terrible condition. They were $5-10 each. So
they're not. They're brand new from a store. So
we don't know. We don't know what kind of situation.
You didn't buy them from a crap store.
Well, it's called Dick's. Maybe they dick me around. Maybe that's what the Dick and Dick's is about. They dick you around.
Anyways.
We'll dick you around at Dick's Sporting Goods. What are you going to get? We don't know. Pick up the box. Buy the box. Leave the store. If the store sucks, oh well, you got dicked at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Oh, that's a nice commercial for them. Okay. Anyways.
Call me if you're from Dick's Sporting Goods. We'll work something out.
Better in the 2020 goalie. Kemper or Markstrom?
In the playoffs, Markstrom. Overall, over the length of the season, it'd be Kemper.
Have you talked to the post office to make sure they aren't declining packages? Oh no, they return stuff if it's more than 2 weeks. We mailed somebody our key. Yep. We have somebody getting our mail for us because they return it if you don't pick it up after 2 weeks. We did have stuff returned at the very beginning because they wouldn't put a hold or anything until because I had to mail the key to the States, which seems so crazy.
You had to call them.
Oh my gosh.
If you could come in, I can't come in. The border's closed.
I had to pay for our post office because you only pay for your box for a year at a time. And holy crap, that was the biggest ordeal ever. Because apparently you have to either go in or pay with an American card.
If you could just come in, I can't cross the border. Okay. Well, if you could just come into our office.
Well, you could pay with an American credit card. How would I have an American credit card? I cannot have an American credit card. How do you even know what? Nobody else cares what country I'm in when I'm trying to give them money. I'm just trying to give. Oh my gosh, It was awful.
It was so funny.
Well, then you could go to another American post. Oh my gosh, that was awful. I was so ticked off.
It was so funny.
Some hockey trivia for you. Before he became famous as the Katrina mayor of New Orleans, Ray Nagin was the owner of the ECHL's New Orleans Brass.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, Ray Nagin was the Hurricane Katrina mayor. He kind of became the hero of that when George W. Bush didn't handle it very well. It was one of the things that he messed up there, which I felt kind of bad in hindsight, because I don't know that maybe he just didn't know how bad it was going to be, but he didn't fly over and he didn't do what he was supposed to do until it was a little bit too late.
Come on, Canadians, everyone should have an American credit card. They wouldn't even take a Canadian check either. I was like, can I mail you a check? I mean, I could go to my bank and get one. Well, if it's an American check, why wouldn't you take a Canadian check? Well, how do we know it's real? You take it to the bank, and they do
like
that
we're just
for
up here
you.
in Canada writing checks.
We don't
and
have
making
any way to verify that it's correct.
Oh yeah.
That's
totally.
what the
this
bank
is the
does. That's
maple
what the
syrup
bank
banking.
does for everybody else.
Everybody does maple syrup banking. It's from
my gosh, it was
the Northern Igloo Division. Dear Lord.
It felt like, hi, I'm Earth. Have we met?
Yeah.
I don't think so. That's what it reminded me. It reminded me of that because it was so ridiculous.
It was funny.
So ridiculous. I wonder what happens with that street that divides part of Canada and the USA. You mean Zero Avenue? The Americans built a fence.
Yep.
And then we started laughing because they built a fence, and there hasn't ever been a fence there, but there is now. There's a fence.
You can still throw stuff over it, technically. But
and
it's not like they weren't patrolling it all the time anyways.
All the time. The guards on four-wheelers and their bulletproof vests and their Herkin guns. Yeah. So it's okay. They're safe from all the Canadians trying to break into the States.
Trying to get our maple syrup across the border. Trying to fling our maple syrup down there.
In your opinion, which defunct or former team have the best logos and jerseys?
Whalers.
Thrashers.
I would say Whalers. Nordiques would be a close second. Though with Nordiques, they only had the two. Whalers had the four. They had the green, and then of course they had the blue after. Yeah, Whalers jerseys are gorgeous. Cleveland Barons, honorable mention to them. It's a shame we'll never see a Cleveland Barons jersey again.
We're not talking politics.
Nope, never, ever.
There aren't Republicans in Canada?
Nope, never, ever.
That's not a thing.
Nope, never, not, nope. Moving along.
In your imagination, what do you think NHL players or NHL would look like in 50 years?
Oh, in 50 years. Well, players will average 6'3" at that point. And I think it's reasonable to think we'll be up to 30, I'll say 36 teams by 50 years down the road. I don't think you go much further because you run out of markets. But something will happen. We may see eventually a move towards teams in traditional markets and out of non-traditional markets if you're able to make more money in the traditional markets. But it'll be on ownership to make that decision, and we'll see. Canada's chances of the World Juniors with the loss of Doc, that's a stacked team. Canada's an absolutely stacked team. I still think they win gold. I'd be surprised if they didn't.
Oh. Yeah. See that later.
Cross-border courier business in Alberta that operates as a trade vehicle and can ship to BC. I won't say the name unsolicited unless you ask.
Do what? As a trade vehicle. Oh, I think they have similar ones here, but they're so pricey.
It is. It does.
I
tend
had
to be
looked
pricey.
at that at the beginning of the pandemic, just because we had stuff across the border that
it's so close.
We wanted to get,
it's so close.
I thought it would be a lot easier than it is because people are allowed to cross the border for business purposes, and since there's all the parcel places right across the border, I thought they'd be able to drive it across. No, they just mail it across.
Yeah, it's pricey.
So it is really, really pricey. But once the border opens back up, we're able to just drive across and get mail. That's why we have an American post office back down there, because we only live 4 kilometers from the border. So yeah, we just didn't ever think about the border closing.
True.
Thoughts on rumors NBC getting rid of NBCSN, putting sports on USA Network and the Peacock streaming service next year. Would it hurt a new TV deal?
I heard about that. I don't know how much that hurts a new TV deal. I think the NHL wants to stay on NBC. NBC wants them to stay as well. I know that they have the WWE and they're going to want other programming as well. I don't know. I know they want ESPN to be in. I know they want the bid to go up. In the end, it might mean that somebody else might outbid NBC. So the best thing the NHL can do is make sure ratings are as high as possible right now, and they make NBC think about it and up the bid, because you only get one shot at this. It's probably going to be another 10-year contract, and then you're locked into it. So it's possible that drives the price down. I'm not aware of WWE getting paid less because they're on USA, though, than they would be if they were on the NBC Sportsnet. So we'll see what they do.
You have a pair fist bump. Yeah. From the Emerald Isle, very Merry Christmas to you, Shannon, Yvonne, and all your loved ones, and all the hockey fans around the world.
Thank you very much.
If I tried to say that, I would slaughter it.
You do slaughter things very often. Not me, though. I always say things
people saying Merry
properly.
Christmas from all over the place.
Merry Christmas to all over the place. And you guys keep the channel going, so thank you. It's
Where
much
are these folks from? Are you talking about us?
Where are we from?
We're in Canada.
Canadian, eh?
Yeah, we're in BC. We're about an hour from Vancouver.
Yep.
I'm not expensive. I'll be raising prices when the border reopens, but until then, I'm cheap. The Canada Post part will be more expensive. So do people have it shipped to you and then you ship it across the border?
I think you were saying he's in Alberta.
Do you drive it?
So they bring it in and then they ship it from.
You cross the border and get it from the States and then drive it across the border.
If you email the email address that's in the description of all the videos,
then you can explain it so I understand what you're saying.
Then the explanation goes through, and then eventually, she's
yes, Shannon, I am
delightful.
What?
She's delightful. She's
better believe it.
Mostly intelligent. She has you're nice. You're a nice person. It's important. You're nice.
Uh-huh.
Nice Yvonne. Okay. She's nice. That's important. Mostly. Kind of.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
What do you think about the Leafs? They have a silly pluralized name. That's not how you say a leaf.
They could be the best team in Canada. And I think it's going to be interesting if the Leafs do finish first in that division. That's where I have them. To see just how much hype they have come playoff time. Because, of course, you're playing within your division to get to the semifinals. So it's possible that a Canadian team ends up with a ton of hype. The Leafs could be that team. And then you end up in a one team out of 4 situation. Anything goes. I think this year's playoffs could be really wide open.
Can we have a video where Yvonne is knitting while Shannon reads some bedtime hockey stories by the fire? I told him he needed to read a story tonight, but he says he's already made a bunch of videos. So I suggested it.
Well, usually on Christmas Eve, there's nothing happening. Usually there's the roster freeze. There's no news.
I know.
There's no games.
I told him it's a Christmas Eve
season's
tradition
already
that he reads
gone
a
on
Christmas
for a while.
story on
I don't have a Christmas story to read, so I don't. I legit don't. I read that whole book. And then there's the story I read last year, so I've already read all the stories.
Have you seen all the bookshelves in our house?
Yeah. And they all don't have Christmas stories on them. So,
we have a ton of Christmas. He's a brat. We have a bunch of Christmas books.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we'll want more stories.
We'll see.
We're getting a chant going on here.
That's because Lisa, you're
read
paying
a Christmas
Lisa.
Story. Here's other people. Make up a hockey Christmas story. Oh my gosh. You're a right one. No, stop.
Why are you leaving the site?
I'm bad. Mail is crazy. Cost me an arm and a leg to mail to Canada. Oh my gosh. It is really expensive. The eBay guy in China mails me a box. He paid like $2. It is insane.
Yep.
And it makes it really hard for us to buy things in the States right now.
It is.
You've got the exchange rate. The shipping is stupid. And then when we get it, we have to pay duty on it.
Yes.
Which, oh my gosh. And we pay duty way more often than we used to. And it's generally about 30% now. So whatever we paid, got to pay it again, 30% of it.
True.
So it makes it way too expensive to buy from the States. Makes us really miss our American Post Office.
Yeah, it is. And I know it's expensive for them shipping in. I've been impressed that so far Full Moon hasn't upped their shipping price into Canada when I buy from them. A lot of the eBay sellers haven't. There are some that have, and I understand it because they have to be operating at a loss if they don't. But shipping costs have gone through the roof.
Have you ever seen 8 Crazy Nights with Adam Sandler?
Watched it once. Have you watched it?
I don't know if I have.
It's a cartoon.
I know what it is.
It's an Adam Sandler cartoon. It's got Adam Sandler in it. It's got Adam Sandler stuff in it.
I know that part. Tell us a story about how you like the Bruins, being a Canucks fan. We want more stories. More stories. Read the hockey sweater and use a French accent. What do you do?
We have the hockey sweater, don't we? I think we have that. See, I don't know.
I know. I've looked at it.
I mean, I don't know how this works as a story.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not a story. People would love
to have that,
but it's not a Christmas book.
Sure.
THG reads A Christmas Carol. I have that book. So I do have the actual one, but I have a kid's version one too.
Ooh.
Now he's all distracted. What's duty? Nice. You know how you hear about countries putting tariffs on things and they talk about it, oh, well, there's countries doing this, so we're going to put tariffs on it. All it means is that the people in that country now get to pay more.
That's us.
Has nothing to do with the government.
Sometimes the business pays more and passes it on to the consumer, but yeah, the consumer ends up paying the duties.
Yeah, it just means that we get to pay more money because some country decided to put tariffs on things. Yeah, that's what that means. It means that we get to pay more money. That's all that is.
See, the thing is, I would love to read parts of this, but I don't have the rights to do that through the guy who wrote it, so I can't do that. Because there are parts that I could definitely turn into a story. Like, how beautiful are some of these Jets concepts? Here, okay. Like, the Jets concepts are just fantastic. And yet, I mean, how awesome would any of those look on a retro reverse? This one here. I like that. That's nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're fun.
And then this down here, this logo here with that jersey. That is so nice. But again, it's copyrighted, so I can't read out of the book.
Did you guys watch any Christmas horror movies or just trash films? We watched some awesome movies.
We also watched Dash and Lily, which was good.
I watched a lot of cute ones.
We didn't watch any Christmas horror movies.
We didn't.
Because I couldn't find... I mean, Sleigh Bells was in the watch list, but I never got around to it. So...
What book is that?
This is...
the Fabric of the Game.
Fabric of the Game.
He really likes that book.
Which is... Yes, it's great. Because you can just open to a random page and you can get happy goodness of Jerseyness. The Edmonton Oilers, originally Alberta Oilers, started out in one.
Merry Christmas. What do you guys consider the most overrated Christmas movie? Home
Alone.
Yep. There you go.
Home Alone.
How did we meet? Online.
She found me. So I was homeless at the time. Now, this is funny though. So there was a gutter, and I had lost my last $3 in that gutter. Now we have loonies and toonies. They were all broken in half because I couldn't even afford.
Them in half?
That's how people gave them to me because I couldn't afford an actual loonie, so they'd give me half. It's a Canadian. We call it a beaver break here in Canada, where they break your money in half.
You can't break money in half.
So,
you used to be able to pop the middle out of toonies if you put them in the freezer.
No, that's not true.
Yes. I've done it.
I never did. I tried so many times. I had like 6 of them when they first came out.
Yeah, I was going to say it had to be when they first came out.
I tried. I looked like such a moron. I kept freezing toonies and winging them across the room and bashing on them with a hammer. And nothing.
You had to put something below it to pop out the middle.
It never popped out. I tried when toonies first came out. That's partially how I ended up homeless. So it was a long story. And then she was my counselor, and then eventually it got inappropriate.
I thought he was super sexy, so I messaged him and I said, "Hey, good looking."
That's what she said to me in the shelter, which wasn't exactly appropriate. But so I was like, "Can I get my soup now?" And she was like, "You call me sexy back."
Do you think the schedule format will lead to more chippy physical play on rivalry games, more intense playing each other more often, and back to back?
Oh yeah. Yeah, if you see the same team 4 times, you kind of get tired of seeing the same team 4 times. So it's going to be rough, and I think that we may see some enforcers get some more games. I think Zach Ronaldo could be a busy player. I think I could see Calgary making more room for him in their lineup because, yeah, it's going to get pretty physical.
You can make up a meat story, but yet to give us a Christmas story. I know, right?
I didn't make it up. She's making it up, but we met online. If you want to call it that. I mean, we went through you helped me through the welfare website for applying when you took me in. I thought it was kind of mean, though, that you only dropped me in and dropped me off, and then you took off with some other guy. And then you said, I'm coming back to pick you up. And that was like 6 hours later. And, I mean, you did bring me back a half-eaten donut, so that was the first food I had in a week and a half, which was kind of nice. But you wouldn't tell me who ate the other half of the donut or where you found it. I'm the weirdo. Give me a half-eaten donut.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Yes.
Didn't they come out and officially say that it's a Christmas movie?
Yeah, Christmas decided it's a Christmas movie. That was the decision of Christmas. See, there's a whole council of Christmas that meets to decide these things. And they meet once a year. There's 13 members from the 13 Christmas countries. And they make their decisions on what is or isn't Christmas. And Die Hard won by a 7-6 decision.
Tell a Christmas story about Bettman.
I did that one year.
Did you?
I did. I did. There was one year that I made up a story about Bettman for Christmas. I remember that. I can just repost that. Just go in and find that in my stream. Just repost that. Done. Christmas is done.
How does the emergency goalie rule work?
The emergency goalie normally in a normal season is that you have one emergency goalie in any game. This year, you have to carry 3 goaltenders. So I don't think we're going to get to an actual emergency backup goaltender anymore. But the idea is that the emergency backup goaltender's there in case both of your goaltenders gets hurt, you can go into the game. And they try to make sure that it's somebody who's played pro hockey at some level that's the emergency goaltender, but they don't get paid unless they play. So this is a guy volunteering to just sit there as the emergency backup who's not going to see the ice. Very, very rare they actually get on the ice.
Die Hard or Gremlins?
Gremlins. Not even close. Gremlins. Because I'm a huge fan of Stripe. I think Stripe was misunderstood. He was only looking out for his species. And I think honestly, they just wanted understanding and some breathing space. And so they needed the humans to move out, let them have the town. I think they would have been fine just with the movie theater and some candy stores. I think they would have been fine. And of course, people had to blow them up because that's what people do. Kind of jerks that way.
I'm scared for Petey and Hughes this season. Also, your thoughts on Pause versus Canada?
It'll be interesting to see how Podkolzin does. He's had a rough year. By any stretch, he's whether you think he's underperformed or he hasn't been given the chance, he's had a rough year. And I agree that for Petey and for Hughes, this could be a long year. You look at Quinn Hughes against Vegas, and they figured out how to shut him down. So he's going to need to evolve his game, because otherwise, with teams playing you back-to-back and having a playoff environment all year, it's going to be harder for these young kids. Teams are going to get books on them. And so they're going to have an iffy year. But one thing for Podkolzin is this should be his last year before he comes over and plays for the Canucks. So hopefully he gets a couple of goals in this tournament and then ends up playing for Vancouver next October.
Is Santa Girl good?
We did a 33-minute review of it, and my answer is it's not bad. Which is
for a Christmas movie.
It's not bad.
For a Christmas movie, it's not bad.
There's moments that you think, why?
It's not
and what?
Well made. It definitely didn't cost very much, and they did it quickly. But it's not horrible like some Christmas movies.
At no point did we debate turning it off. Put it that way. At no point did we debate turning it off.
Several Christmas movies
where we're like,
some
this isn't getting better.
Unwatchable.
We're like, this isn't getting better.
So
this is getting worse. We need to turn this off. Well, the brain still works.
Oh, somebody else is wanting to know where you got your hat.
NHL Shop Canada. And then there are some hats that I had to go through the American NHL Shop for too, which means you're paying duties before they ship them, which can be pricey.
What's your favorite hockey movie of all time? Is it Slapshot?
Happy Gilmore.
That's a classic.
Happy Gilmore.
I watched a Christmas movie that had hockey in it. It had the Bruins versus the Golden Knights. That Godmother movie.
Bizarre.
And the main character wore a Bruins scarf. And she had Bruins face paint on. And Malachi was all excited.
Was she the bad guy?
Golden Knights. No, she was the main character.
But she was wearing Bruins stuff, so doesn't that make her the villain?
No, because they were in Boston.
So whoever made the movie doesn't know how hockey works.
They were in Boston.
Still.
Which rivalry do you think going in will get the most heat this season? Honorable mentions.
Washington and Pittsburgh will absolutely hate each other. Rangers and Islanders is going to be a bloodbath as usual. Any matchup between two California teams. And an honorable mention, I would not be surprised if Vegas and Colorado gets there. If Vegas and Colorado, by the end of this season, there's a serious hate between those two.
What do you think of the Connor Sherry signing?
Oh, Sherry's a good pickup. They've said that they're counting on him to be a middle six forward, so second or third line. If he's on your third line, he's good. If he's on your second line, that speaks to a potential problem with your depth, but Sherry can be fine.
How good will that second line for the Avs be?
With Kadri centering it, it's going to be fantastic. The Avs are my favorite for the Stanley Cup. I know that the Hockey News has them and Sports Forecaster has them winning the Cup. I don't like to jump on that bandwagon because normally they're wrong, but this year I don't see who stops Colorado this year. Dallas wouldn't have if not for injuries.
I'm just punished for teasing Shannon about the $5 jersey story. I almost cut my finger off. Sorry, Shannon. No cutting fingers off.
Don't do that.
You don't want to go to the hospital.
Yeah, don't do that.
Just stay away from the hospital, so don't do stupid stuff. I'm a St. Louis fan, and I kind of want your guys' input on this. Do you think the Blues or the Devils will throw it back to the Scouts at any point? I personally would love to see that.
There was talk at one point of The Devils doing some kind of a throwback. And I know that the striping they currently use on their jerseys is sort of a harkening back to both Colorado and Kansas City. I would love to see a Scouts throwback of some sort. I don't know that we ever see it. I have that in the same categories like Cleveland or the Golden Seals. There are some interesting defunct teams that I'd love to see a new jersey idea of and something fun with using an Adidas, but I don't think we see it.
How will Devon Taves do?
Devon's going to be just fine. I think that Colorado has, on paper, they have a young defense, so there's going to probably be some mistakes there, but it is an impressive team, and the fact that Joe Sakic took advantage of another GM's cap problem where he wasn't going to be able to sign Devon Taves, that again shows that Sakic's a pretty smart general manager.
How's the Battle of Alberta going to be?
Bloodshed. My God. It was just ugly last year with Cassian and Kachuk. I can't imagine playing each other 10 times this year, how ugly that's going to get.
That's a lot. Toronto's reverse retro looks way better in person. I didn't like it at all when I first saw it. Most of them are better in person.
Probably.
Still not a huge fan of the Leafs, though.
One criticism I saw was that it's a blue logo on the blue background. And they said if they'd done a white logo with the blue background, it might look better.
I think if they had any white on it, it would look nicer.
Well, there's white in the Toronto.
Besides the lettering. But if they had put any white for the contrast.
This is white in here.
It doesn't count. I think white on it would have made it look
gray's a shade of white.
Nicer. It's no.
Kind of.
No.
There's kind of, let's see. Let me look at the back.
Colors work, but
the Adidas is a light gray here. There's some gray in here.
No.
The fight strap is white.
That doesn't count.
The fight strap's white.
Doesn't count.
There's your difference.
Doesn't count.
But it does though, because if you take your jersey and if you take the fight strap and you attach it to the neckline.
How will Craig Smith do with the Bruins? You're a dork. That'd be a cute look. Yeah, you should totally wear it like that.
Craig Smith, the good news for him is with Marchand and Pasternak out to start the season, he's going to get prime minutes. If he's on that power play, he'll get his share of goals. He could score 56 games. He could score 20, 22, or 23 goals. Craig Smith's a very good goal scorer. Showed that last year with Nashville. Streaky, though.
Shannon, what did you do before this channel? You mean at the beginning of the channel? He's doing videos. He used to do videos at work. Aren't they still on the channel, or did you delete them? A couple.
There's a couple that are still on. I used to work at a meat packing plant.
He did manual labor.
I worked in the shipping department. I'd worked on the production line for 7 years, and then for the last 3 years, I was in shipping. I think it was 3 years I was in shipping.
Is Buffalo a good team now?
Yes.
Okay, it's getting cold now.
I think Buffalo's done a good job of building up their team. The problem for Buffalo is that division is a group of death. So if they're going to get ahead, they're going to probably have to overachieve. But it's about getting off to a fast start. You can win, say, 6 of your first 8 in a 56-game schedule. You've got a good head start.
I'm a Panthers fan, and I'm skeptical of the Anthony Duclair signing. I mean, sure, he was great in Ottawa last year, but the Cats need more depth at defenseman, not a forward. But your thoughts?
Duclair had a great start with Ottawa. In his last 22 games in Ottawa, he had 2 goals. So he got off to a great start. He ends up in the All-Star game. He had one 11-game period where he had 9 goals. Everything was great. And then when he goes cold, he is ice cold. And of those 2 goals, I think one of them was an empty netter. So he's very, very hot and cold. And I don't know which one's going to show up. There's a reason he's already on his 6th team.
Do you have a Fort Wayne? I can't tell what letters those are. Comets. Okay, I couldn't.
I don't have a Fort Wayne Comets. I don't have a Fort Wayne Comets jersey.
What Canadian team deserves to win the cup next?
Deserves. Oh, I don't know who deserves it. I just like to see a Canadian team win it. It'd be entertaining if Edmonton or Toronto won, because I think there'd be a meltdown if Edmonton or Toronto won it. But yeah, any Canadian team winning the cup would be absolutely fantastic. I'd be very happy to see it.
Best AHL jersey?
Best AHL jersey. The ones I have, I'm kind of partial to. Now, Hershey has a really nice one, but this Phantoms is fantastic. And even though she doesn't like Philadelphia's jerseys, she doesn't mind this one.
Yeah, that one's kind of fun.
So, yeah, the Phantoms is nice.
Again, they also don't look like a traffic pylon, so that
the logo is so
in
cool
their
looking.
favor.
The Phantoms logo is so cool looking. So, yeah, this would probably be my favorite.
Whatever happened to Kenny Appleby?
No idea. Oh, speaking of Kenny, Letterkenny tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
Letterkenny season tomorrow in Canada. So if you have Crave in Canada, Letterkenny's new season is on tomorrow. And then it's on Hulu in the States the day after that.
Do you have a Cleveland Monsters jersey?
I
do
have a Monsters. The Lake Erie Monsters.
Oh.
That's the one with the eye.
Yes.
It is right here. Yep. So see on the shoulder has the C and then the Columbus logo on the other shoulder. So, yep.
Do you have a Florida Everblades jersey?
Nope. Don't have that one.
I think people are liking this game. Do you have this one?
I told you that's what the idea was for tomorrow. Remember I said tomorrow's live stream.
Yeah.
I would just do kind of a jersey thing because we always get those questions.
Yeah.
Of what do you have and what don't you have.
Merry Christmas. Been watching since summer of 2017. Just want to say keep up the good work.
Even I wasn't watching back in the summer of 2017. Thank you. I didn't even subscribe to this channel for years. I was like, that's just too many videos. I don't want all those notifications. Guy's a loser. So, you know.
How is your knowledge of the NHL compared to other mums? I don't know.
Compared to my ex, you're ahead of my ex. Because she was kind of a mom too. So
yeah, I don't know how to even.
Because she was one of those ones that she would watch hockey, but she would basically watch it just for the playoffs. So it was one of those situations where it's the best explanation I can use is it can be frustrating watching hockey with somebody who only watches the playoffs for the same reason that watching a movie with somebody who comes in halfway through and asks you to explain what's going on can be frustrating. Because there's a lot of, well, who's that? Well, when did we get that? When did that guy come up? Who's that? Well, when are these guys any good? Are we going to win? I'm like, why didn't you watch the regular season? And it's the same idea with a movie of, well, who's that? What's that? My dad used to do that. He'd come in halfway through a movie and he'd ask my mother a million questions until my mother would throw something in his head, make him go away. You would have done the same thing.
Likely. Are you glad you changed to doing this for work? I'm glad.
Yeah,
I hated that.
Very glad.
It was stupid early in the morning.
And the amount of stress of work in there was always high. It's working in an assembly line job and working in a packed environment with a lot of people. And yeah, it can be kind of an ugly work environment. And I know one of the first things we did
really, really, really early in the morning.
One of the first times that we went out as a couple was to my Christmas party from work.
Yeah.
And everybody was just miserable.
We had been together for a few months.
I know, but we didn't go out on a bunch of dates. And that was kind of a date night for us.
That's true. We really just hung out.
I really realized that night just how miserable a lot of people I worked with were. Because we were having a good time. Out in your
corner.
And we just had I was like, wow, this is a miserable group. Huh.
True.
And so, yeah.
And it was really early in the morning, and it was awful to drive there when it was snowy.
I worked from 4 a.m. till 1 p.m. So it was nice to be off at 1 p.m, but
and then you get home and do videos.
So I would do the videos from 1:30 in the afternoon until about 5 o'clock at night, and then it was time for bed, pretty much.
How would a Panthers, Florida, Keys, AHL team work?
In the Keys? Gee, I don't know. I mean, you have to have an NHL or an AHL level building too. Part of the problem sometimes is finding the right building. So I would think you'd be able to find something in Florida. Yeah, that might be That might be tricky, but could benefit Florida, the parent team, to have more local exposure, I guess.
Merry Christmas from Utica. Do you think Greiss and Bernier can steal games for the Wings this year?
Thomas Greiss is a very good goaltender, but he's on the back nine, and I do think that the Islanders definitely, I'm going to say they pump up their goalie stats a little bit. I don't expect Greiss to have the same stats with Detroit as he did with the Islanders, but he's going to be a heck of a lot better than Jimmy Howard. Bernier showed last year he could be solid. At the very least, they now have a middle-of-the-pack tandem, and I don't think they're going to be nearly as bad as they were last year.
Hey, THG, love your channel. Gold or red Vegas Golden Knights jersey?
The red one. I prefer the red one to the gold one.
I really like the red one.
The red one is really nice.
It's what I've been asking for.
Yeah. I mean, both of them are highly Vegas jerseys. They're great.
The gold one is awesome. It's uncomfortable.
The gold one is as Vegas as a jersey can get.
It's great.
I honestly, if they switch to those being their primaries, they could use the gold
really
one
like
away and the red one at home.
They're both fun.
That'd be perfectly fine with me.
But the red one's almost exactly what I've been asking for. So
yep.
That's great. I'm glad they finally listened.
We wanted the secondary on the front of a jersey.
On a red jersey. I wanted the secondary on a red jersey.
Yep.
So that's great. Hey, Shannon, is that hat half old colors, Norns half new colors, Avs, or are my eyes playing tricks on me?
Pretty sure it's the same.
It's the same. It's just, it looks like that because you've got the hat seam right here. And so it kind of makes the light reflect off it a little bit different, but it is the same shade for the whole jersey.
Yep. That's why I got it, because regular Nerdeeks hats are not the same colors. So
the Leafs retro reverse looks like it needs a wash.
Because of the gray.
Oh, okay. I was going to say what?
I mean, on some level, because you expect a white sleeve. It's just weird because that's where it's not really a reverse because they never had gray in their jersey.
Yeah, I think
so.
They just
The
wanted
reverse
different
parts.
That's one of those things we were talking about, though. There are some teams. How do they do a reverse? If they just have two colors, they already do it both ways.
Yeah.
So, do you see an internet breaking sports thing soon?
I would say that there'll be some kind of a highlight reel goal out of the NHL. I'll say that first week. That'll be, I'm not going to say internet breaking necessarily, but there'll be some kind of big highlight reel because we haven't seen all 31 teams in action since March. So big highlight reel goals may get blown up even more than normal.
Okay. Red Wings should use the jersey I sent you. Anything but that god-awful reverse retro. That one is disappointing.
Well, see,
I think it would have been so easy to improve it. Like, they only had to have done little things to make it
it's just
a
so
lot
much
nicer.
White. And the gray stripe is, well, it's gray. And it's just so much white.
This is boring.
It's supposed to be kind of like a throwback to the old, but it's weird that it's 98 because technically what the rumor was that this would be like the 1930s level stripes. This is kind of what they had back at way back when.
Okay, it's boring. With Montreal being over the cap, who could be expandable?
Expandable.
That says expandable, in your opinion. Merry Christmas.
I could see somebody like Paul Byron might be one that ends up on the market.
Like works differently in Canada. Sounds like something Shannon would say.
No, it's gonna be interesting to see what a lot of teams do. There are a lot of teams that are currently over the cap. They may use the taxi squad to get under. They may not move anybody. Remember that with the taxi squad, you get to write off $1 million of that guy's pay. So if you put 2 or 3 guys on there, you have to put them through waivers first. But the likelihood of guys clearing waivers goes up this year because how many teams have cap problems. You may just put guys on the taxi squad to get around the cap.
What inspired you to make your first YouTube video, and what was it about?
I used to just do personal vlogs, and it was that at the time I didn't really have friends. I didn't really have very many people I talked to, and so I would just talk to the webcam and I go to bed. That was it, and nobody cared, and that was it. But I had stopped doing that before you came along.
Yeah,
you came along when I already stopped
your videos.
that.
Well, but your videos were very, very different than what they are now.
Oh yeah, they were more.
They'd be really long of you just talking about all sorts of things. Mm-hmm. There wasn't a whiteboard. There weren't magnets.
Just me on the couch.
It was just Shannon sitting on the Chesterfield talking about a bunch of stuff. And it wasn't always hockey. Like, it was mostly hockey, but you would also just talk about you.
Well, see, I found out that if I wanted to trash talk somebody that I worked with, what I had to do was make sure that was after about the 7-minute mark of the video, because anybody I worked with wouldn't last that long into a video. So I'd be like, all right, what's the time on this? Okay, now I can start trash talking so-and-so from work because they really pissed me off today. So I just wait.
What would you call the Palm Springs AHL team?
Palm Springs. And as the farm team for the Kraken, I don't know, something aquatic. It would be something tied into the Kraken. You could always bring back the fisherman jersey from the Islanders and call them the Palm Springs Fishermen. See, you could totally tie that in that way. I don't know what else you could relate to the Kraken. Zeus, the Palm Springs Zeus. Zeus there from Clash of the Titans. Release the Kraken. Liam Neeson. Yeah, the Neesons. There you go. The Palm Spring Neesons. You have Liam Neeson's face on the front, and Release the Kraken and be on the back of every jersey.
Are those old videos of Shannon before this channel still on the internet?
No.
Those aren't. And then it was this channel, just way before, but most of that was deleted.
Yep. It was about streamlining, and YouTubers do that all the time, where you streamline your channel. And you just take out stuff that doesn't fit the rest of the channel.
It's not relevant. No. Yeah, because you don't want videos like that being recommended, because that doesn't show your channel. Then if that's what you see, then you just wait, this isn't the
I would have to have a separate channel for that kind of thing. But YouTubers aren't exactly known for keeping up with other channels. They normally the main channel will stick around, and then the other channel changes.
It's a lot of work. That, and we don't share nearly as much personal stuff on the channel.
As the channel grew, I couldn't talk about personal stuff at all
No, because there's creepy people online. I don't know if you guys know.
And there's too many. Once you get into a certain amount of subscribers, so you're like, okay, I can't talk about any of that stuff now.
Right.
So yeah, it just changed everything. Changed my whole approach.
What are your opinions on Frederik Andersen? Do you think that he gets criticized too much?
I did a video on Freddie Andersen last week. I do think he gets criticized more than he otherwise would, but when you're in Toronto, that's kind of what ends up happening. I watched Cujo get criticized plenty, Belfour get criticized plenty. I think that Freddie Andersen is a good goaltender. I think that he played well against Columbus. The problem was the guy at the other end was shutting out the Leafs. So as a result, if he allows a goal that isn't necessarily the best goal, it's going to be really magnified, when in reality Korpisalo stole that series.
Take off, you hoser. Sound like my mom. That's how my mom talks. She says that all the time when I was little. Oh my gosh. Yep, that's how my mom talks. I just love it when you say the word about. It really shows that you're Canadians. I think there's a lot of words we say that sound really Canadian.
True.
I think, yeah. There's words that we say that are very Canadian.
You said Chesterfield.
I did, because that's what I call it.
Even I don't call it a Chesterfield.
I do. I always have. What pattern does Yvonne use for all those sweaters?
Various patterns.
Like the ones that I make for Shannon? I use different ones. Yeah,
there's various patterns. She gets them for cheap because she's a celebrity, and they just
no. Actually, most of them I get for free because I'm a pattern tester.
She's a big shot internet. See,
that's
so like what I am to hockey, that's what she is to pattern testing.
That's not a thing.
She's this big shot in pattern testing world.
That's not true at all in any way.
She clears about $10,000 a month.
I do not get any money for testing patterns. I get free patterns and I get free fabric. Or really cheap fabric because I test patterns for
she's being
companies.
Modest. She's just being modest.
They
pay big for that.
Yeah, I test some patterns.
She tests for Chanel. She tests for Calvin
That's
Klein.
not a thing. No.
She tests
sometimes
for
when
Adidas,
I post them on
Reebok,
Instagram, I try and hashtag
Victoria's
the
Secret.
pattern companies if I remember. That's definitely not a thing.
She tests for what is it?
Serviette.
CCM.
I say serviette because napkins aren't something you want to have at your dinner table. That would
Charmin.
be weird.
She tests for Chef Boyardee. She tests
Americans
for a lot
hear
of things.
A boot. No, a boot you wear on your foot.
We don't say a boot.
Nobody says a boot.
Nobody does.
It sounds closer to a boat, not a boot. We don't say a boot. It's a boat, which is closer to a boat.
So there's my lock screen, just to prove my lock screen is the Space Coyote. Because every morning I wake up and I'm like, and I have that. That's my picture of my jersey. It's my Space Coyote.
Have you seen the dialect tester for the US?
No.
I have not. Finally got my Colorado Retro day before yesterday. Finally, it's my favorite of all of them. There's a lot of good ones, though. There are some really fun ones.
Why does some of these articles actually say that the NHL's split into North, South, East, and West divisions? No, they're North, Central, East, and West. South would make more sense, but they went with West, Central, East, and North. I don't know why it's not Canadian West, Central, and East. But, yeah, all right.
What are your opinions on Igor Shattenkirk? Shesterkin. Read the wrong thing.
Shattenkirk.
That's not what I meant.
Shesterkin is going to be absolutely fine. I think that Shesterkin is one of the best young goalies coming along. The interesting thing is going to be, so you got Shesterkin with the Rangers, you got Samsonov with the with Capitals, wrong Capital, but Capital City, and Sorokin coming in with the Islanders. So I'm going to be interested to see how three do. Shesterkin should be the best of the three. Samsonov should be number 2. Sorokin should be number 3, but we'll see when the season gets started. And they're all in the same division.
Is there any NHL apparel out there that your cats could wear? Not if we wanted to keep our arms.
Technically, they could.
I like my arms not bloodied. So...
Technically.
Have you seen the wild videos where Nate Prosper, Ryan Carter taught European players to speak Minnesotan?
No, but Minnesotan is it's an interesting dialect.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays.
Same to you.
They have jerseys for dogs. Why not cats?
Well, you can. But again,
I have seen people put jerseys on cats.
You're going to lose body parts.
I think the only one that would let us do it would be Pixel, and she would just...
Her head would hang
so
low.
Funny, yeah.
She'd look so sad.
You can do stuff to her,
she
and then
looks
she
so
won't
defeated.
move. She'll just like...
yeah, she looks so defeated.
Yeah, she just give up. What's the point?
I'm debating about getting a Seattle Kraken pennant.
Cats don't like wearing clothes.
But where would I put the Seattle Kraken pennant?
I have no idea.
I haven't even got all the stuff up that I need to get up now. But I need something Seattle-based on the wall.
Every once in a while.
I do.
Hi.
Yeah, we were talking
Lots of Merry Christmas.
Yes, same to you.
Hoping to get a White Heritage Classic Jets jersey on Boxing Day. That's a really pretty one.
That's a very nice jersey.
Advertising on helmets and jerseys. What do you think?
Well, helmets is this year. Jerseys isn't yet. At some point, it'll probably happen. If/when it does, it's supposed to be the jerseys the players wear, not the jerseys that we order. So as long as it's not on jerseys that we buy as retail, I'm not too concerned about it. And it won't look like European jerseys. The plan is to have like one at the top, not have them all over the place.
How do you watch all the games at the same time?
Channel flipping. So
He's
I just
horrible to watch hockey with. I don't watch with him.
So on a day with 15 games, I will flip, and if a game's really close, I'll stay there. If a game is blown out, I'll switch off from that game.
And so, I watch it on a different TV.
Yeah, she doesn't like watching.
I don't watch hockey with him
because I do my best to follow every single game, and I'm going to change the way that I do the previews this year too. So,
Shannon, we know your favorite Backstreet Boys song is Everybody, but what's your favorite NSYNC song?
That's not a thing. So this...
See, I don't know any songs that say NSYNC in it, so I don't know any NSYNC songs.
This is going to be the preview board now. So each game gets a spot in the preview board.
Oh my goodness.
So you can fill up 15, and then over here I'm going to have where I have like the standings.
Okay.
I'm going to have the divisional standings and all of that. And then I also want to track like how they're all doing against each other in the previews, but I'm going to make it so that it's one board for previews, not a bunch. And I want to shorten up the previews because the preview videos can be excessively long and then they die.
Right.
And so I want to shorten up the previews this year and have it kind of punchy. So that's the plan. There's 20 slots on this board, so there's more than enough for games. And then if it's a
bigger
success,
board?
I have bigger boards. They laugh, but I have a bigger board than that. I have boards that's that wide and a foot longer or foot taller. I have the one that's by the fridge in the kitchen down here. That one's 4 feet by 3 feet.
Huge, yeah.
That one I only use for like massive madness boards in the off season. I never got to that point this year. Don't let me get to that point.
Bigger board won't fit in the room. Well, that's the thing is he then has to have it further away, and then people complain about not being able to read it, and people complain.
That's why I'm going to keep it as simple as possible.
Are you just going to permanently put Detroit last in their division?
I don't know that Detroit's necessarily going to be last in their division this year, and again, and I'm saying that not because I don't think Detroit's going to struggle, but with the divisional matchup. If they can figure out one of those 7 teams that they're playing against, right? So it really changes the dynamic. I think these divisions are going to be close. I think, it's possible that one team ends up falling way out of the race, but I don't think that necessarily is going to happen.
Which jersey is the most Christmassy?
I'm going to say New Jersey. I'm going to say the New Jersey red and green ones. So anything Devils that's red and green.
I've also heard people say the Red Wild is Christmassy because it's red and has some green on it.
So like nope, that's black.
Do you have a Hershey Bears jersey?
Yep, I have the brown one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Christmassy because it's red and green.
He was really hoping to have the retro reverse before Christmas, but
but it's stuck in Richmond. So.
It's hanging out over by Vancouver.
It's been stuck in Richmond for the last couple of days, which means it won't get delivered until Boxing Day at the earliest. And I think they deliver on Boxing Day, but I'm not sure. I don't know that Canada Post isn't shut down for Boxing Day as well.
Well, I know on Amazon things were saying that it. Like, if you looked at when things would be delivered, there were a lot of things saying Boxing Day.
Okay, because anything that I found on Amazon, it was 28th or 29th that I was looking at for delivery.
I thought I saw Boxing Day. I could be wrong. But.
I need to replace the heater in our room because it's dying. The fan and it's dying. And then there were a couple other things we wanted for the kids that they're just going to get after Christmas.
They have grandma presents that aren't going to be here for Christmas.
But it'll be nice when they have their own Echo Dot, so they don't have to use yours.
I know. Yeah. How do you organize the jerseys, by region or alphabetical?
It's alphabetical by team. This is all Adidas now. So what I've done is I've changed it. So this whole rack is Adidas. And it's Adidas up to here is where Winnipeg ends. And then it's alphabetical beyond that. From, again, Anaheim through to Winnipeg. I'm planning on doing some further reorganizing of them where I want to split out the CCMs from the Reeboks. And, and then there's some other ones I'm getting out of the room altogether because I don't really use them.
Just finished my Christmas Eve church service online. Hope your Christmas service is filled with joy during these times.
Hey, does yours have anything online for Christmas?
No. Well, so we had our Christmas church on Sunday, but there isn't Christmas Eve. But I actually looked online.
Guys do Mass?
No, I looked online for Christmas services I could watch online. So I found one that I will be watching later.
Is it Scrooge?
So, no, Shannon.
What?
Shannon.
What? I'm not doing anything.
Why is Shannon not wearing his Christmas jersey? He can wear that tomorrow.
To me, this is kind of Christmassy because it's Nordiques, which is Nordic, which is north, which tells people it's snowy, wintry. That's why I picked Nordiques. Because Nordiques is north.
Oh my goodness.
It is.
Okay. How does losing Kirby Dash affect the Blackhawks? Oh, I say that wrong every single time too, don't I?
Losing Kirby Dach will hurt Chicago, but if it's a 4-week injury, so if it's at the lower end of the potential injury, he'd only miss about a week. The other side of it is Chicago's kind of already let their fans know, hey, we're not winning the cup this year with their statement they released about how they were looking at redoing things. As long as Doc comes back 100%, that's all that matters. As long as this isn't going to be a long-term thing, as long as he doesn't need surgery. Because this year is not about winning a Stanley Cup or necessarily even about making the playoffs. So that's the good news if you're a Hawks fan.
Did you ever get a slot hockey table for Christmas?
I have the one in the room there.
I got him one for Christmas
we don't have
2 years ago.
Yep.
2 years ago. It's one that you can change out the players, and we have a bunch of teams. I've been able to get a lot. Oh, Canada Post will be closed on Boxing Day.
Yep, of course.
Right.
So, and then 27th is a Saturday. They won't run on weekends either now that Christmas has passed. So it'll be 4 days of downtime for mail. So yeah, it'll be 2021 before I get that complete.
We have Christmas presents for the kids from Grandma coming because can't see grandmas, and we got all of Gabriel's presents. We got half of Adelaide's presents and one Malachi present. So when I messaged Grandma yesterday, so we only have one present for Malachi. She's like, oh no, but there's nothing we can do. So we're going to have to wrap up a note. Yep. You have these coming and kind of warn him. But it just makes it tricky. We got the other presents, just not Malachi's. Yeah, that kind of sums up Christmas this year, doesn't it? Which team will be the first to 10 wins?
Oh, geez, I'd have to look at the schedule for that. Because not every schedule is going to be equally difficult. I'm going to say it'll probably be one of the Canadian teams. I could see one of the Canadian teams going to 10 wins first just because of the fact they play longer series because they only play against 6 teams instead of 7. But yeah, that's a tough call. I could do a video on that before we get into the season. Once, to get a look and see who's got the toughest schedule and who's got the easiest schedule. I mean, just looking at the divisions, Vegas, Colorado, or St. Louis, because of their division they're in, should be one of those 3 teams. But I'm going to go ahead and guess it's one of the Canadian teams.
Tell your son that he gets to open presents after Christmas. He gets Yeah,
we've been doing Christmas all month anyways.
We have,
it's not like there's any shortage of presents.
And we're actually doing most of our Christmas on Monday, not tomorrow, because Adelaide is at her dad's. So, yeah. So we have a couple days still till we do ours. But I'm gonna warn him that we don't have all the presents. So, but he gets some later. It'll be okay. Is that a real fire back there?
Yes.
It looks kind of real, eh?
You know, the 4K fire, you have to watch that because it will singe around the outside of the television. 4K fires are a little bit more intense. That is a nice looking fire, though.
That does look pretty cool.
Yeah, the 4K fires are a little more intense.
That wouldn't be good to hang stuff right there, though, but if that was a real fire.
No. But we have enough jerseys that we could keep a fire going for years if we had to.
If you warn him, he might not get upset. Yeah, I'm going to let him know.
I really don't think he's going to get that upset anyways.
Well,
I think with what he's getting,
but
I think
tomorrow, when they're only opening grandma presents,
just
and his brother has all of his
some of his toys he has right now.
I told his grandma, well, we could give him some of his.
Just go out into the garage and pick up crap he hasn't touched in years and treat it like it's something new.
Yeah, it just makes it tricky because they're only opening grandma presents tomorrow. They'll do Zoom call with grandma and open just the grandma presents. But since he only has the one present and his brother has his, do you teach your kids about Santa? Do you mean St. Nicholas? I teach them all about St. Nicholas and the history of it.
I had to laugh.
All of that. I've never pretended that Santa was
real. We're on the same level that way. When I was raising my kids, I never once told them Santa Claus brought presents. I didn't give them anything out of the tree from Santa. But every year we'd go to the mall and they'd want to go over and ask Santa Claus for presents. And I'm thinking, you've never had anything underneath that tree from Santa?
I have never addressed a present from Santa.
The only thing we used to do was we used to leave stuff when it was just Ashley. We would leave stuff underneath the tree for her so we could sleep in a little bit. So we'd leave like gifts unwrapped.
Oh, my parents always
she'd get up and play.
My parents always left.
Like there was
at least one present.
The year that Toy Story 2 came out, we went to McDonald's and got every single toy for Toy Story 2.
I worked at McDonald's when they had those.
She could because that had all the characters. So I'm like, okay, as long as we have these around the tree, she could just act out the whole movie and we can sleep in a little bit. Because she would get up at 6 a.m. and she'd wake us up like, hey, it's Christmas. It's not.
Our kids don't.
Really. No, they don't.
We have weird kids that they have never woke up early for Christmas. I always wake up before them.
We've had to go and wake them up.
I have every year I have to wake up Adelaide. We have weird kids. Yeah. I don't know. They don't wake up early.
When I was a kid, the earliest I tried to wake up my mother was like 4:30. But I would get up at 3 a.m. and I would just sit in front of the tree until my mother gets up at 7 o'clock.
My parents always left one thing.
Kind of half shake
I never touched presents. My parents always left one thing unwrapped though.
I was allowed to open one on Christmas Eve.
And I'd usually go and look at the
stockings. But when I would go to open one on Christmas Eve, there were certain things I was allowed to open and certain ones I wasn't allowed to open. So.
Oh, how old are our kids? 7, 13, and 16 of the ones living at home still.
Mine, I have one that turned 21.
4:30 is a bit early.
I have one that's 21 and one that's 24. So mine aren't really kids as much as they're adults.
Oh, what are we having for Christmas dinner? So again, we're not really doing Christmas
I forgot turkey. Didn't even think about it until we were talking to my mother yesterday. And she said something about turkey. And I went, I didn't get a turkey. I didn't even think about it. Pandemic. All right. I forgot all about a turkey.
So yeah, we do normally do a turkey, but we're not doing Christmas tomorrow. So I'm not doing Christmas dinner tomorrow. I'm doing Christmas dinner on Monday. So, and for Christmas dinner, I always make tutsia. And so that's what I'm making.
Or tutory.
But nobody calls it that besides Shannon.
It's tutory.
But I couldn't find ground pork. I mean, we only do
I've tried ordering it twice.
They never have it. So I had to get a pork roast, and so I will have to ground my pork so I can make the tutsia on tutory. Monday. No, I will make that on Sunday though.
It is. It's tutory.
It's not.
I'm English speaking.
Nobody
so it's
calls
tutory.
it that. No.
Tutory.
So
it's basically meatloaf. Tutory is basically meatloaf.
It is not.
It's very similar. It's a kind of a crumbly meatloaf.
Is it, Shannon?
Sure it is.
Oh my goodness.
I don't see the difference between that meatloaf.
Okay. Oh, there's a bunch of people that have no idea what Tutsia is.
Tutory.
Where's all the French Canadians?
Or British Baking Show. The British Baking Show had it
tell Shannon off.
The Canadian Baking Show had it too, didn't they?
Meatloaf. Yeah.
They called it tutory.
Because it's nobody calls it that.
They did. It's tutory.
It's super duper Canadian. It's a meat pie made with ground pork. Sometimes it's ground pork and ground beef as well. I missed a super chat. Okay, I'll look. There. Okay, you're French Canadian. Now tell Shannon off. Tell him he's a dork and nobody calls it tutory and it's not meatloaf. But it's different than like British meat pies because it uses different spices. Some people put potatoes in it, but that's wrong. But it's
so that's
you can't see. It looks like
they're going to be able to see it. You just
you can't.
I'm saying they
it's
will.
Meat
there you
pie,
go. There you go.
But it has different spices.
If you want to know how to spell it,
British ones.
You don't have to have the accent, so don't try to draw that on your phone. Yeah, tutory.
It's not tutory. Okay.
T-O-U-R.
Anyways,
tour.
Shut it.
T-I-E-R-E.
No.
Tutiri. Sorry, I said it wrong. It's tutiri.
And I'll make a Christmas cake too. So, Merry Christmas from Wisconsin.
Canadian
now
pork meat
that
pie.
Kucherov is out for the season, is it less likely we will see Tyler Johnson or Alex Killorn get moved?
No, because they're still over the cap. Even with that 9.5 taken off, I think they're still 2.5 or 3 million over the cap. I know they're still over the cap. I'm pretty sure they're still over the cap. So they need to make more moves. But it's easier without Kucherov. The problem is the team really misses Kucherov if he doesn't play. Let's see. There's different kinds of tutory too.
Correct.
There's the Saguenay, Lac Saint Jean,
and then there's the
Montreal. There's a Manitoba version.
There's Tutsia, and then there's
Acadia.
pate. I don't like pate.
Acadia.
My grinder doesn't grind that. Super fine anyways.
May contain chicken, hair,
I told the
beef.
boys they needed to grind the meat tomorrow.
Petit cochon.
It's not supposed to have potatoes in it, but some people put potatoes in it.
Well, let me just take a look and see here.
Those people are wrong. My ex-husband, his mom put peas in it, and that was just...
I'm trying to see if any of these have actual... They all have cloves in them.
Yeah, that's what makes it Tutsia.
Cinnamon and cloves.
Yes. That's what makes it not meat pie. That's why I said it has different spices.
Tutory.
It's not tutory.
Made with potatoes.
No, you're not.
The version from Saguenay, Lac Saint Jean, Eastern Quebec. Slow cooked deep dish meat pies made with potatoes and various meats, often including wild game cut into. So you could put possum in there. Elsewhere in Quebec and the rest of Canada, this variety of tutory is sometimes referred to French and English as Tutsia de Lac Saint Jean or Tutsia Saguenay. He does know
how to pronounce that properly.
From the
I'm
varieties
just saying,
of Tutsia with ground meat.
He knows that he's totally butchering the pronunciation of that.
Well, I know Lac Saint Jean means it's the lake of jeans. So.
Shannon!
It is. That's where you get your jeans from.
Oh,
not genetics.
Goodness.
I mean, jeans you wear.
Oh, goodness. Do you like the Chevy Chase vacation movies from the 80s? The Christmas one.
Christmas Vacation's very good. The original Vacation is good. European Vacation's a little cringy. And when you look back at it now, there's moments that are kind of, I don't know about that. And the Vegas Vacation is, well, at least it's filmed in Vegas.
Possum is not wild game.
It is, because it's not like it's something that you raise, so they're wild game. They're gamey. I would say possum's probably pretty gamey meat, wouldn't you? Probably raccoon too.
Not.
So,
have you seen those? I'm not eating anything that looks like that.
Like a raccoon or a possum?
Possums, they are ugly.
Yeah, that's why you kill them and eat them.
No. Are you guys streaming the USA versus Russia game? We're not streaming games.
Don't streaming during games.
Nope.
I won't have a game on the TV when I'm streaming.
No. You missed my last super chat, did I? Sorry, I'll go.
What did you do?
But I appreciate the hell out of your knowledge and channels, so here's another. Love from Milwaukee by way of Chicago. Oh, look for it. Hold on.
I know I love you too. You're not in front of the heater.
See them, it skips over them, and it doesn't tell me about them.
He's sitting like he's in front of the heater, but he's behind it.
Oh, is it way back there?
What did you do?
I'm looking. Oh, there it is. Love your channel, man. Keep it up. Holiday cheers. Love from Milwaukee by way of Chicago. And there's another one. So many games between rivals, back-to-backs, and same team playing each other all the time. There's going to be more fights this year. Who's going to get the most penalty minutes?
I would go with, I could see Reeves being in there. I'll say it ends up being Cassian. I'll say that with Cassian's temperament, I could see him snapping. I could see that. What? Didn't you want to go over and see her? Hi. What? Don't you dare slap me. Don't you dare slap me.
I told my mom about the tutory. No, it's Tutsia, and it's very good.
It's tutory.
If you like meat pie, I think meat pie is great,
see, there's the heat shadow. Right there, see?
Yeah.
You were sitting behind the heater.
Does Yvonne hold shadow like a baby too? No.
She doesn't pick cats
I respect cats, and I don't pick them up. They just lay on me all the time.
I've raised my cats where they get picked up. They're used to being carried around like babies.
I don't pick up cats.
I raised them that way, so they're used to it.
I have cats jump on my lap.
But I'm the only one that's allowed to do it. Anybody else in this house tries to do it.
Shadow doesn't really care for me, though.
Yes, he does. He's right at your feet. Or he was. Oh, he's over behind me.
By your feet.
What are you doing?
No, he only likes me when I'm sleeping, and then he'll sleep on my legs.
Dippy, the heat's
or
over
between
here.
my legs. Other than that, there's
no heat there. That's
pretty
a tree.
ambivalent towards me.
There's heat over here. You're a moron. Because he always sits in front of the heater, but I don't think he realizes where the actual heat's coming from right now.
Do you think your job would be easier or harder time-wise if you lived on the East Coast?
Oh, it'd be so much harder.
Oh my gosh,
having to stay up till 1 in the morning, sometimes staying up till 2 in the morning, it would be tough. I mean, Saturday nights can be kind of hairy as it is because I have to
stay up pretty late.
The preview for Sunday sometimes.
The power rankings
Saturday night.
That would be really hard.
It can be a long night. I cannot imagine if I lived on the East Coast, I'd be up till like 5 in the morning. So yeah, it would be really tough. If I was on the East Coast, there's no way this channel would be run the same way.
Best defenseman of all time?
It's hard to rule against Bobby Orr. Bobby Orr revolutionized the position. Doug Harvey would be up there in that conversation as well, as he revolutionized it. But yeah, Bobby Orr is probably the best defenseman of all time.
And it's my mother-in-law in Ontario. She says it's meat pie. Got your back, Shannon. It is. It's good meat pie, and I make it every year for Christmas. And the kids would like it if I made it for more than just Christmas, because they love Tutsia.
Tutory.
They do. They eat a lot.
Tutory.
Shannon, realistically, when do you see the Hawks being competitive again? I'm thinking 2025 or later. The hockey gods always get theirs.
I'll say they have a down year this year, probably one more year after that. And then based on finding a starting goaltender, they could be right back into it the following season. So that'll be 2022, 2023. It'll be a lot of 20s the next few years.
Who is in your 2021 Stanley Cup final?
I have Colorado winning it. The tricky part is we don't know how the rest of the teams are going to be seeded, because the 4 divisions are going to be seeded 1 through 4. So you could have Tampa against another Eastern team in the final. This is the only time that can happen. But I would not be surprised if Colorado wins it. And I like Tampa as a finalist if they get Kucherov and if they stay healthy. But you know what? I'll go with Colorado and Carolina. Sure, Colorado and Carolina.
We do have snow.
We got a little bit the other day.
The kids are quite excited.
I don't know how much longer it's going to stick around, but it's stuck around.
We have a decent amount, though. Enough that the kids were able to go sledding. We still can't see the grass in our yard or anything like that.
Not yet. Oh, it's supposed to rain on Friday. Tomorrow. It's supposed to rain tomorrow.
But at least they'll wake up and it'll be a white Christmas, and that's quite rare.
That's true. We do not have white Christmas.
We had a white Christmas.
Never.
Yes, it
We've
was.
never had
it was
white
recently.
Christmas.
It was like 2 or 3 years ago.
No.
We did. Yes, it actually.
No,
snowed.
2 years ago we were in Vegas. We didn't have a white Christmas then.
It wasn't.
They got a massive storm while we were in
that
Vegas that year.
That was so fun.
Remember, they had a massive storm that knocked the power out. And they got a Pineapple
while we
Express.
were at the restaurant.
As soon as we flew out of Seattle, I think they had a Pineapple Express come through.
That was so fun.
We were in Vegas, where it was all sunny and nice and warm.
Christmas, that was great.
People in Vegas were huddled around heaters and wearing big jackets. We were out in shorts and t-shirts.
Hoodies. Well, I don't wear shorts.
It's cool.
Just wearing my hoodies.
So nice. Because it was like, 16 degrees Celsius was where it was, which is like 60s.
Which is like early summer temperatures.
Yeah, for us that's good. And in Vegas, that was
yeah, it was funny, but
while I'm down the rabbit hole.
I miss Vegas. We're supposed to be there right now to San.
Vegas tomorrow is 16 degrees.
Oh, there you go. Yep. Bauer 3000, best skate ever.
Yeah, I've been looking at picking up skates, but I don't have anywhere to go skating right now. So I kind of want to get a pair of skates, but there's not really, because we don't have like in our yard or anything. So I'd like to pick up a new pair of skates and start going out skating.
Well, right now you could skate down the road. It's a sheet of ice.
Yeah, but it's not ice for skating.
It might kill your blades, but how much is center ice going to cost?
Center ice is supposed to be cheaper. It's supposed to be, we saw people saying it was $30 cheaper. I haven't got an email yet on it.
Yeah, it's like 25% off.
Yeah, it's going to be less. It's not that much less, but it's going to be less. Oh, Adidas Boxing Week 2020, 50% off. But it's all on their I don't want any of that crap.
When do you think Columbus will take the next step and finally win the Cup? A couple seasons from now or within the decade?
I would hope they'd get it a couple years down the road here. They've got two decent goaltenders, both in their mid-20s. They can roll four lines. They've got a good blue line. I'd love to see them finally win one in the next couple of years. It's been a long-suffering 2 decades for Columbus. It'd be nice to see them win something and wear those reverse retros as they do it, because they're kind of sharp.
Do you think there will be fans in the stands by the playoffs?
Certain cities are already going to have fans in the stands. I know Dallas, Tampa, Florida. There's rumors that Arizona is going to have fans in the stands as well now.
By the playoffs, I would think.
By the playoffs, most cities should have them. Most cities should have fans in the stands. That's when things should be getting a little bit better. And it would be great if we can go to a game.
I hope so.
At that stage. But I'd have to get vaccinated before I'm going to go to a game.
Benning puts Ferland on LTIR to sign a defenseman.
I don't think Ferland's going to play again. I'd be very surprised if Ferland doesn't end up on the LTIR. I don't know about signing a defenseman, but yeah, it's going to happen.
Center ice is $159 plus tax.
Yeah, I heard it was cheaper. I know it's usually $199, so that's $40 off. So it's better. I don't think you get charged till January.
Right. Of course, those states will have fans in the stands.
Yeah, I don't get into it. I know that there's, the debate about safety and everything. I'm not going to have any judgments one way or the other. I know it's limited attendance. I think there's ways to do it with limited attendance where it's safe, and hopefully everything goes well.
Who is your financially realistic goaler the Hawks could trade for to be competitive? Again, personally, think Crawford leaving is a disgrace.
Crawford, at this stage, he's a backup. So at this stage, Crawford being the backup makes the most sense. The problem for the Hawks isn't letting him go. It's that there isn't really anybody replacing him at this stage, but it doesn't sound like they're really all that concerned with it. I could see them making a move. There's going to be teams that are worried about losing a goaltender in the expansion draft, and Chicago may take advantage of that. So we may see Chicago in the running for one of the goaltenders that's going to be out there. Maybe they make a play for Jake Allen out of Montreal. Montreal's looking at Jake Allen as a guy that they could just get rid of for nothing. Or maybe Seattle takes a Jake Allen. Maybe they take a Braden Holtby, and then maybe they take another goaltender as well. and you end up in a situation where Chicago can just make a trade with Seattle and pick up a goaltender. I think they'll have it straightened out by next season.
Merry Christmas and go Canucks.
Thank you very much. And I agree. Go Canucks. That'd be very nice. And I mean, go to the playoffs, not go home, not go somewhere else, not go away, but go towards something good. Maybe a silver trophy. You can start with a garbage can and work your way up from there. Skate around on the ice, get a feel for that. Hold up that garbage can and then work your way up. And eventually you're like, you know what, this feels good. We need to have a trophy we can all share and we can all skate around the ice. We need to make sure these garbage cans are empty before we come out on the ice because we've left kind of a mess behind for the ice crew. But, just work your way up.
Are players wearing the Aero Ready versus the Climate Adidas they wore last year?
Theirs are different. So the jerseys that the NHL players wear, I'm pretty sure they're the Aero Ready, like the ones that all of the currently manufactured ones are from Adidas, but they're different. It is a different fabric. It's a different stitch. The logos are different. Everything about what they wear on the ice is different than what we get at retail. And I know that's by design. Adidas doesn't really want to be putting out at retail level the kind of jerseys they're putting on the players at the bench. We found that out 2 years ago when we were in Vegas, and I'm sitting right next to the bench.
They were different, but people
I'm sitting
were
right next to the bench,
and
I'm holding out my sleeve and looking at the stitching, and then I'm looking at the stitching on, I think it was Nate Schmidt that was next to me, and I'm like, okay, his
is really tell in the shoulder dimpling. That's where you could really tell.
It's much more defined on theirs, and the shoulder patches and the gold on those Vegas jerseys is so much better than it is on the retail jerseys. So there's a major difference between the two.
Mm-hmm. Best elbow of all time.
Gordie Howe. Gordie Howe threw elbows like nobody's business. If we'd had footage of Gordie Howe when he played hockey, people would talk about how dirty a player he was, but we don't have that footage. What?
Merry Christmas from Portugal. I really appreciate you and your channel. I'm learning so much just from your knowledge and passion. Much love.
Thank you very much.
Future face of the Minnesota Wild, Rossi or Kaprizov?
Rossi's the center, so I would say it probably ends up being Rossi. Normally the center will be the guy that gets all the attention.
That's my tea.
I'm not sure what he's after. He thinks there's something.
What is it?
He wants something. What are you after, sweetie?
Somebody asked if our cats can do tricks.
Not on purpose. They do them by accident.
They can beg for food even though they have food.
He can be a complete dope.
They can roll around on a cat tree and fall off.
He can flip a toy in the air and catch it. Yeah. I don't know if that's a trick or not, but he can flip a toy up in the air and catch it.
He can meow and sound like a kitten.
Yeah, he has a very weak
they can be kind of dopey. Can go to another room and they'll meow like they've been completely abandoned.
Oh, Bear freaks out when I go upstairs.
I'm all alone.
If you watch, I don't know how audible it is, but if you watch the Jersey Christmas, we did the part 2, Bear was crying downstairs by the end of that video because I was upstairs.
They're enjoying the pandemic.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to survive when we're allowed to leave the house.
They don't like it when there's
and by allowed, I mean we
choose
to stay home. Not that there's actually a lockdown in place.
Right. Merry Christmas, Hockey Guy. Thanks for all the content. Looking forward to next season.
Agreed. We're almost out of time, though, because we've got other stuff to do, and it's after 7 now. And it's Christmas Eve, and we're going to want to watch
more Christmas movies.
Watch Scrooge, and I still haven't done my treadmill yet today either.
This is the first mention of 1812 thus far. I've seen people mention it in the comments. People try and start that as soon as there's a video.
Well, there's a reason for that.
I frequently try to keep.
We got triggered though watching. There was a YouTube video that was talking about 1812, and it kept mentioning the British and the Americans, and I was like, I know technically it wasn't Canada yet, but why aren't they talking about the fact it was Canadians? Because it's not like, yes, it was technically Britain at the time, but it's not like everybody that was in this country left and was replaced by Canadians. they weren't Canadians by name, but it was Canada that was fighting in the War of 1812. And Canada wasn't mentioned in the entire video. And I'm like, I don't understand.
It was a history video on things that you believe incorrectly about history, like history things that you think incorrectly. It was definitely an American video because it talked about the War of 1812. And we're like, oh, we already know this one.
And then he just kept talking about the British, which is fine.
Didn't even mention Canada.
Britain was involved because, we were still part of Britain. However, we're still here and we're not British. So it was one of those things that I was like, wait, he didn't mention Canada once.
It was kind of
never talked about Canada.
Do I have to go to the window and hold up my question to get it answered? Like of your house? I don't see anybody else's window. Or are you talking about our house? We wouldn't see out the window.
I don't see.
It's really dark outside, and that'd be really creepy.
Yeah, I don't see any questions. No questions.
1812. Who was favored, Jackson or Rothschild?
With the name Rothschilds, it would be Rothschilds.
Do you have Canadian team jerseys?
I have every team's jersey. Oh, Team Canada. Yeah, I did
this one right there.
Yeah, I did the Team Canada preview for the World Juniors. I have a Team Canada jersey for that from the World Cup of Hockey.
We're not British, from British Columbia. It doesn't make us British.
Right. Just like the Columbia River isn't in Colombia.
You just got your question answered. Haha. I think it's so weird when people ask that or say, "Can you read my question?"
Yeah.
That's all I see. I sorry, I don't see all the questions. Sorry.
But anyways, we should probably wrap this up. But thank you guys for coming out.
Christmas
We're doing another
Eve.
live stream tomorrow.
So
for people who Christmas isn't necessarily a fantastically wonderful moment, we will be doing a live stream.
Especially this year.
And it'll be earlier in the day than this one was. So it'll be more early afternoon by our time, about 3 o'clock. I'll say 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific, somewhere around that time. And we'll do a live stream around then. So hopefully you guys can come out. And we will do this again tomorrow. And Merry Christmas to those who aren't able to show up tomorrow.